Here. I want to take a minute and welcome you to the Hangout. We're insanely excited to have you here. We have a lot of updates to roll out to you, a lot of good stuff, a couple of timelines, some really cool things to kind of push out to you guys as we move forward with INFINii, launching it out to the world, getting it out to everybody, and making sure that you guys have the premier platform moving forward to build your home-based business. And here's, real quick, before we get started, I just want to say one thing, because I've been talking with a lot of really high leaders quite recently. That are looking at INFINii, that are joining INFINii, that are stoked about being here, pumped up about being involved with this company, with this product. And here's the thing. Most network marketing companies and most leaders out there, you guys know this, and you know, I've had this problem. You know, John, I don't think he's had this problem, but I've sure had this problem, and a lot of leaders have as well. You get involved with a network marketing company, and your long, arduous, successful career of growing a home-based business in the network marketing community tends to be a lot of small careers in the network marketing community, meaning you go from company to company looking for that right thing. And you know, sometimes in the beginning you look at yourself and say, hey, maybe the problem's with me, or hey, maybe the problem's with this company. The problem that you see with all those companies, if you've been in that situation, it's not really the company, it's not really you, and really what it comes down to is the product that is out there in the marketplace. Okay, the product is something that is typically a consumable item. You rub it on your skin or something like that, and it's something that people can buy at the store for typically a lower price. Another thing that destroys and really wreaks havoc upon the industry is even in the digital side of the world when you promote companies that have digital content, because typically that content is not generating you an income. Having a subscription, being involved in that is not going to generate you an income. Only recruiting is. And so if you're here on this call, and if you're with us right now, and if you're watching this, and if somebody invited you to look at this crazy thing called INFINii, if they're pumped up about it, the reason why they are is because the product that we offer into the marketplace is something that can make you money. That's its job. That's what it does. So what better thing to promote as a recruiter than something that you know can make your customers a huge income? Okay, and we'll get more into customers and how we have the highest customer acquisition out there in the industry when you look at how many distributors or partners out there compared to how many customers we have. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about why this is so just head and shoulders above everything that's out there, and what we believe is the model company that others should look at and say, you know what, we need to get our act together. We need to make sure that we have customers on a level like those guys, and see what we can do to fix our industry, because it's a huge problem. The fact that you just have recruiting people after recruiting people after recruiting people, and there's no customers to speak of because, hey, no one really needs or wants your product on a massive scale. So we get to change that game, and we're excited about that. And you know, I kind of want to get down to the business of what we're here for, but I'm just excited. I think that a lot of the leaders that are watching this are equally excited about what we have going on. You know, those of you who have been in DS domination, those of you who are new to what we do and are looking at this and going, really? This is what you guys are doing? I mean, so a lot of the leaders that are watching this, you get exactly what I just said. And for those of you who are just stepping your toe into this industry maybe, you're in the right place, and you get to bypass all those failures that you see with other network marketing companies out there. You get to bypass all that and go straight to where you belong, to your home, which is with us in INFINii. So I'm going to turn this over to Hitesh, because I'm just going to keep getting even more excited. I'm glad there's not a chat here with anyone to kind of keep me pushing forward on this line of thought, because I'll go all day talking about how successful our members can be in here as customers, and breaking that evil cycle, that chain of not being able to actually grow a home-based business and grow an income in this industry. We are here to shatter those obstacles for you. So if you've never seen us before, welcome home. If you're a leader here, welcome home. You're here. This is where you need to be. This is where we are. This is where your future can just thrive, and it can't happen in anywhere else that I see out there right now in the landscape of network marketing. So I'm going to turn this over to Hitesh, our CEO of INFINii, and let him go ahead and walk you guys through some updates and go ahead and show you guys where we're at, where we're going, and what's going to happen over the next few hours, the next 24 hours, and then hopefully we'll get him to push that out for the next couple months, weeks, and years. I'll show you guys what we got, all right? So Hitesh, my friend, are you here? Can you take this over before my head blows up and I just can't stop?
In that case, why don't you keep going for a while? All right, so obviously, I'm just as excited, if not more so. And I'm going to go over the numbers and where we are and where we're going in just a minute. But I want to really, really emphasize something that Kevin just talked about. And that is the big difference between every other model versus what we are doing. Okay? And the big difference is actual, genuine participation in the economy out there. Okay? The way that most network marketing things work out, and I'm going to try and put my screen share on here, and let's see. All right, if you can see my infamous paint now, I just want to clarify this thing because this is a very critical component that you guys truly need to understand. Every other company out there operates in this one isolated space. Okay, this looks like actually a pretty sad face, and there's a reason for it. Because you have this trifecta of affiliates, and I call them customers, but they're not truly customers in many cases. That's why I put them in quotation marks, and the company. And what's basically happening is it's this industry. There's this MLM or whatever you want to call it. They sometimes call it the home business space. I don't think that's really appropriate to define what it is. But this industry exists by itself. There are affiliates selling company products to the customers who are sending money to affiliates in the circle. We can call them partners, you can call them distributors, whatever you want to call it. This little chain is going on in this isolated piece of the economy. Okay? And this economy is estimated to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $90 billion. Okay? That's pretty massive. It's not that it's a small piece. It's very, very large, and I'm talking about just the US side right now. But in real businesses, you have the business needs to have a significant overlap with the rest of the world out there, right? You have retail customers who are looking for products, or you have service seekers, people who need some kind of a service, right? They're looking for plumbers, or they're looking for an electrician, they're looking for a teacher, whatever it is. And you have a bunch of other people out there who are just looking to participate in the economy in some way, shape, or form. Right? They might be employees, they might work a job or whatever, but there is some real participation in the economy because they're purchasing these goods, they're purchasing these services, and so on, in the economy as a whole. Now, because you have this isolated chain over here, it oftentimes breeds this mindset of us versus them kind of. You have all these customers who at the end of the day, when they don't succeed, and even if the failure rate is the same as the economy as a whole, they feel like it's because I'm trapped in the system, right? At the end of the day, that's the feeling. And sometimes that perception is stronger than reality, but it's there. So there is a very significant reason why we are the only ones who have been able to break out of that, right? We have a multiple 8-figure a year company, and we have that despite the fact that we don't push recruitment, despite the fact that we don't have to worry about making that the primary message. And the reason for that is we are actually interacting with the economy as a whole. We are dealing with roughly $300 billion worth of true retail sales right here. We're dealing with that economy. We are dealing with, through the new pieces coming out in INFINii, we are dealing with service and digital services, especially with freelancing and so on. We're dealing with another $700 billion economy. We are dealing with local economy participants, which is another few $1 trillion. It's actually the biggest piece by far. That's roughly $9.1 trillion. And many other pieces like that, right? So we are now actually the only company that will be operating in all of these different spheres, in all of these different pieces. That's what makes it so unique. You don't have this dynamic anymore. What you have in our system is partners or affiliates generating customers who are coming to the company for our training, for our software, for our services, or at the same time generating traffic into all these other pieces of the economy as well. And these customers are generating income from this piece and from this piece and this piece. So the dynamic of I'm a victim of somebody who sold me the scheme never happens with us, or happens very, very rarely with us. The statistics bear out that our customers are extremely successful, and they usually don't feel like they're a victim. And if they do feel like they're a victim and they talk about it, they usually have thousands of other people telling them, dude, stop, you're not a victim here. You are one of the lucky few who have the chance to break out of where you are stuck in your life. Okay? So this is a very, very interesting piece. And this is what you have to keep in mind, is the overall goal of INFINii. to allow you to participate in infinite number of marketplaces, in infinite number of activities, all of which generate an income for you. Hence the name INFINii. Okay, so keeping this in mind, we're going to now start giving you the rollout of what's going to happen, how it's going to play out, and what we are going to be accomplishing over the coming 5 days, 10 days, 6 months, everything. Okay, we're going to roll out everything for you and lay out the plan so you can figure out where you fit into that, what part gets you excited about it, and what to build your business around. Okay, so you have plenty of options as you go forward. So here we are. I'm going to start out actually first with some very basic statistics of what happened with the pre-launch. So you all know that we had said, look, we're going to start out testing on November 10th. We're going to open a pre-launch setting. We're not going to accept any money because we want to make sure our system can handle everything and fix any bugs and so on. So idea was this. We would open on November 10th. We expected about 1,000 people in the first week, 1,000 leaders in the first week. And then we expected from around November 23rd, we would close the second phase with 7,000 members roughly. And then we would close out on November 30th with roughly 20,000 members. That was our aim. Okay? Here's what started happening though. You know, this is why you launch, this is why you test, this is why you do these kind of pre-launch things. So we started out, we had our first 1,000 people jump in about 4.5 hours. Okay, that was awesome. But we also saw a lot of issues in the system, in the way it was placing things and whatnot. So we worked all the way through to November 27th to actually get the final push for the pre-launch going. And in 3 days' time, what we had expected would take us 3 weeks to get to 20,000 members. We actually crossed well over 20,000 in a matter of 2.5 days. Okay, 2.5 days, meaning roughly 36 hours, roughly 50 to 60 hours. In that time span, we actually crossed well over 20,000 members. And this is when we did not have absolute links available out there. This is all being done by true word of mouth, based purely on people telling other people about this. And I'll tell you guys why this is happening. There are literally tens of thousands of people right now who have been using the training and the systems in INFINii. They've been using that in the form of DST, which is one of our sister child companies, more or less. And this is why there's so much buzz about it. And what I want to do is actually point you guys to a case study. And this is an extremely, extremely great case study for the simple reason that this individual is on this call right now to testify that this is how it played out. I'm going to show you guys some screenshots, and we're going to walk through this together, and you can see how awesome this was. So let me go ahead and show you guys just one more thing. All right. Are you able to see my screen? Kev, can you confirm you're able to see the screenshot?
We can.
Okay, wonderful. So we started out this test back on September, okay? We started in September, and the whole idea was that we wanted to gather 2 to 3 months of case study with somebody who had never, ever sold on Amazon, sold on eBay, never sold anywhere at all, had not even thought about it, okay? Or had thought about it and just said, whatever, I don't get this, I don't want to do this. And here is what happened with it. Now you will notice as I explain what's in INFINii and what the rollout is overall, you will notice there's a very big emphasis on your first 90 days. And this is why, because this is a picture of what happens in first 90 days for many, many, many people. Okay, so as you can see in this chart, you have, we started out on September, and then we had October, very minimal growth, and then we shot up from October to November. We have a massive, massive, massive boost. And we actually are seeing that that's going to go up a whole lot. I'll show you some other stats for it in a second. You can see that we had average orders of, we had average 40 orders, and then we had an average of 99, and then we had 297. It's kind of crazy how much this grew and how quickly it grew. Okay, now take a look at this chart over here as well. This shows you how many sales happened in the past 7 days, in the past 15 days, in the past 30 days. You can see the ramp up. In the last 30 days, we had 15,000 in sales, of which more than half came in just the last 7 days because it's ramping up so fast. Okay, here you can see in the last day we've had 46 orders. In the last 7 days, you've had 83. Essentially, we are ramping up extremely fast right now. And that's just how powerful this is. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to turn this over to Ken, because this is actually, believe it or not, Ken Eggleston's account. Okay, and Ken accomplished all of this without ever actually understanding how to do this stuff himself. He actually used what will become INFINii projects to work with an e-commerce expert who manages his account for him and works with him directly. Of course, Ken is in control of everything. Of course, Ken gets to go in and define what he wants to work with. But at the end of the day, this is the type of success that you can see if you just follow the process correctly. Okay, so Ken, I want you to explain in your own words what you saw with this, what you expect to see going forward with this, and what your thoughts are so far. And I really want you to emphasize your history in network marketing and your history on the e-commerce side to make sure that everybody understands what this case study really represents.
Will do. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Excellent. Guys, for those of you that know me, you know I've been in the industry of network marketing for over 20 years, but I didn't even know how to go on Amazon except to order a product, you know, and mostly leadership books or whatever. So I remember when we started talking about this, Hitesh, and going through it, I was just like, wow, how am I possibly going to get my head around this as well as everything else? And you said, look, just take the first couple steps. And I actually began watching the tutorial videos, which you guys are going to see in the back, which anybody can follow. And I think that's the real beauty, Hitesh, of INFINii, the way it's laid out, is that you can choose your path. But I very quickly said to you, okay, with all the other things we have moving around and all the other plates moving, how can we accelerate this for a network marketer that comes in here that understands the industry but wants to multitask through building a team as well as this? And that's when we really talked about the possibility of outsourcing and working with other people to manage your account. And Hitesh, this has really just been a complete shock to me, because while we see the people walking the INFINii stage and that have been involved with, of course, one of the subsidiaries of INFINii, DSD, for the last couple of years, when I see people walking the stage at 24, 25, 27 years of age, upwards of 75 years of age, and walking the stage making 100,000, 300,000, 500,000, some of them over 800,000 in the year in real profits from building this online business, obviously there is an incredible e-commerce side that the vast majority of networkers don't understand, myself included. And that's where I was when we opened this account, is although I've made millions of dollars within the network marketing industry building teams, the e-commerce platform was something like, okay, if I have to learn it, it takes too long, I'd rather not look at it. This is going to completely change the dynamic where no matter who you are, you can choose to either build it yourself or you can consider the managed account. And Hitesh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, we're already now doing 15,000, as you saw in my account, for the month. With that continuing to ramp up, I could see where that goes to 50,000 and 100,000 a month, just on the scale of growth we see right now.
Absolutely. There's no reason why it would not reach those levels. We have a ton of members in INFINii and DST who have been doing that kind of level already. We have people actually, one of the great, wonderful stories was we have a member, Jordan, who was a very highly paid accountant. He got in and essentially replaced his job within 3 months because he was able to generate exactly what he made as a highly paid accountant. Okay, we're not talking about somebody who was just trying to get out of their fast food job. Right? He was basically able to establish a business and in 3 months was able to replace his job as an accountant. That's a very, very strong testament to how well the system works for those who actually follow along. Now, here is the problem that we had, though. Overall, looking through everything, here is the one problem, which was how quickly do you get these guys to that level? How quickly do you get them to profitability? And how quickly do you get them into multiple marketplaces? Because that's the other big picture here. Okay, so let me show you guys this really quick again. There are essentially 4 major e-commerce things happening out there. Okay, so you have eBay, which represents about $83 billion as per the last year in gross merchandising volume. That's the total amount of stuff that was sold on there. You have Amazon, that does not disclose the exact number, but is estimated to have done something in the neighborhood of 130 billion. You have Google Shopping Network, which is about 40 billion. And then you have self-managed stores, which is people who have their own e-commerce websites. They're not selling on Amazon or eBay, which means they're saving on the fees. They're not paying the Amazon and eBay fees in that case. And that's generating roughly in the neighborhood of $240 billion. All of this is stuff that is taught and covered in INFINii. And is actually done in a very, very simplistic manner. So I'm actually going to literally walk you guys through what is in INFINii, what is the training in here, and how it plays out for you. Okay? So let me just grab a long list of things that we have that you can play with and understand what you're getting at each level, what each level covers, how it maps into the whole system, and how it's going to play out for you in the long run. So,
if I could just for a moment, I'd like to comment on Ken's test circumstance that we've been running for 90 days, and especially I'd like to speak with a lot of the new network marketing leaders that have since joined the INFINii launch and are getting ready to build a solid business in a number of different markets around the world. One of the ways that this is going to have a significant effect on you and your businesses moving forward is that we all know in the network marketing world there's always a race to be amongst the first to represent a new product or a new offering or a new company in any particular new marketplace, because you hear this word saturation come up over and over and over and over again. And as leaders, of course, we tell the field that saturation is a myth, and it largely is a myth because any particular marketplace is big enough, it can absorb an awful lot of consumers, customers, and builders in any particular market. That said, the real concern for the masses is, am I exposed to this company and its products early enough that all of my friends have not heard of this company and its products yet, so they don't immediately shut me down when I open my mouth? And this is one circumstance now that this is no longer going to have to be a fear for you. 5 and 6 years down the road with your INFINii business, you're not going to have to worry about these kind of problems because our product base is so immense, and the draw with which Hitesh is talking about, there's 300 million active Amazon shoppers right now. We talk about $11 trillion in e-commerce. If you've looked at our PowerPoint deck, that's representing 1.5 to 2% of transactions that are happening globally, which is minuscule, and all indication is that that number is growing aggressively. Amazon Japan is growing aggressively, and other markets around the world. So you're not going to have to deal with the normal concerns that you're used to and have to try to protect yourself, or have had to try to protect yourself in your previous network marketing builds. So you're going to be able to relax and know that you're going to be able to grow into this for a long period of time.
Yeah, and John, to close up on that point, what we've been doing here is actually taking my account to create a case study, and we'll be able to take that case study then and make it available to the field to be able to utilize for people looking at it as, okay, if I started today and followed this blueprint, what could I achieve? And so there's been a lot of hard work going into setting up the case study, but it's going to be fully tracked from A to Z. So anybody, John, like you or I, or any of the network marketing long-term professionals will look at this going, well, I don't know if I could do that. It's a perfect example of, hey, here was a Stone Age network marketer that was not IT-centric for online e-commerce, and we took him and we moved him into this arena. So it'll be a perfect platform. So just so we can see.
We can roll out one other. If this is just a test, Ken, it's really not that important to you. We could actually do another case study, how you send your profits over to me, and we'll do a study on how I spend your profits.
That's over lobster and a steak. But Hitesh, back to you guys. Kevin?
Spoken like a true MLMer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and so because one of the issues that I have with Hangouts in general is that we really like having interaction. I want you all to be able to ask questions during this process. Okay, so I'm going to break down everything that's in INFINii, how it's going to be rolled out, when you guys get access to it. I've just made a post on the INFINii Facebook that says, if you have questions during the Hangout, ask them here. So go ahead and place your questions on that page, in that thread, and we will address all of your questions by the end. Okay. Now, meanwhile, if you're still able to see my beautiful paint imagery here, let's walk through exactly what is in INFINii, and I'm going to explain one of the major thought processes behind compiling this in the way that we have. One major problem that we had as we started growing, because we kind of pioneered this whole process. We've kind of pioneered into this industry, into the e-commerce side of things, when nobody was really out there talking about it, teaching it, or anything like that. And those who were really doing it as a gimmick on the side. It was like their thing that they did to try and attract people to an MLM company or something else, or they were doing that more to generate a coaching business for themselves or stuff like that. And our whole concept was, no, we can turn this into an actual business for all of the members who do it. And that's what it was about. Now, we saw a lot of things over time, and obviously the landscape has also shifted a bit in the past 2 years, especially towards Amazon. And one of our main concerns is, how can we make this very, very cost effective for the average customer? How can we get them very quickly to break-even point? And the second thing was, how can we award and reward our partners in this process in a very aggressive and fair manner, where they can actually build a livable income as an affiliate in the system as well, which is something that we hadn't done quite that well in the past. So I'm going to walk you guys through what happens here. We're going to begin with Prime, and this is our basic level, which is our $49.95 a month level. And here is what you get with this. First of all, you get great prices on the Springboard, which we have talked about before. The Springboard is our platform that allows you to purchase products directly from us at manufacturer prices. We have made some deals. We have done some negotiations on it. You can sell these on all of the 4 platforms that we talked about. You can sell them on Amazon, eBay. You can sell them on your own stores like Shopify stores and so on. And you can also sell them on Bonanza, which is our gateway into the Google Shopping Network. So you have lots of options on what you can do with those products, and we also provide a service where we will do that for you, where we'll help you list that on Amazon and eBay, and you are in control, but we help you complete the process and we help you manage that sale. So you get great prices on that, and you have up to 15 products made available to you day one. Every month you get up to 15 products that you can purchase from within our system. That's 15 items, 15 units of individual products. It could be 5 units of the same product, it could be 15 units of the same product, or it could be 3 units of 5 different products. Whatever you want, it's up to you. The total fee, when you're selling on Amazon or eBay or other different systems using what we have built out for you in INFINii, the fee that you pay is 3%, which here is the fun part. Okay, this is one of the great things. You pay that out of the profits that you are generating. Okay. And now this is the quintessential question that people ask all the time. If your product is so good, if your training is so good, if your system is so good, why can't we just pay you out of profits? Well, now you can. We will actually take this fee out of the sales that you're making. So if you're not making any sales using our system, then you don't pay any fee. It's I think the fairest thing that you can offer in the world. It kind of shows the confidence that we have in where we stand. So now let's talk about the training that you get in Prime. At your most basic level, what happens? So we start out with your eBay training, where we walk you through very quickly this entire process. It takes less than 60 minutes. It actually takes about less than 40 minutes even for you to go from never having started on eBay to having your first listing up on eBay and getting going with it. So you're going to learn how to create your account. You're going to learn how to select an item to sell. You're going to learn how to create your listing. You're going to learn how to manage a sale when it comes in. You're going to learn about post-sale customer support and any troubleshooting, like if there's an issue, if the customer didn't get their order, and so on. And finally, you're going to learn about how you can scale up your business to the next level, generate profits at a much faster pace. Okay? Already at this point, I think this is way, way, way better than what you're paying. For $49.95 a month, the value is astonishing. Again, the idea is we know how well you guys will do with it, and we know that we're going to do really well with this 3% fee and so on, and that's why we are so excited to give this amazing training to you guys and give the amazing software to you guys at a very, very low cost, because we know it's going to work. Next, we have Amazon training available to you also from day one, which is how do you create your Amazon account using the Amazon app. This is all about going on paid shopping trips, something that we did on a mass scale at our last event. You guys saw the incredible results with that. We moved about $180,000 worth of on Amazon retail price products during that one event just by doing shopping trips. In fact, we drove the sales of local stores through the roof doing that, to the point that we had the president, we had the corporate headquarters from this very well-known chain store calling us, asking us to work with them directly. It's pretty incredible. what we were able to do with that. So you're going to learn how to do all of that. You learn how to go on paid shopping trips. You're going to go on a shopping trip. You're going to scan with your phone the items in the store, and you just send them into Amazon, and Amazon handles everything else for you. They will find the customer for you. They will sell the product for you. They will ship the product for you, and then they will send you the money for it. It's absolutely amazing how well that works. So you're going to learn. Yes.
Listen, I don't mean to interrupt, but listen, you just said something there that is really quite substantial. I just wanted to draw a little bit more attention to it, and that is that we had a one-day event where some of our members went to a retail business using our platforms, cleared that local business out of inventory, and made such an impression that the president of a company that has franchises across the country reached out to you. And I think that also lends itself a little bit to the state of the economy, not only in the U.S. right now, but in Canada and many other places, and how primed so many markets around the world are for what we're about to unleash on the world.
Absolutely. Again, I mean, it is incredible, and I do kind of gloss over that. And one of the reasons why I gloss over it a little bit is one of the major things is what we want to drive home during this Hangout especially is what will this do for you? Okay, as the average user, I mean, who cares if we get deals with the biggest companies in the world, right? At the end of the day, what matters is what does our average customer actually make? What does our actual user do with it? And that's why I kind of gloss over that part a little bit, because that's great news for us. It lends a lot of credibility, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about the partners side of things. But I just know how the average person is thinking. The average person is going, sure, all of these amazing things are happening. How does that put the money in my pocket? And that's what this is all about. So here is how it puts the money in your pocket. You're going to go to a store. Okay, instead of attending a party with products that you're selling each other and weight loss supplements that you're selling each other, and you're all complimenting each other on how much weight you need to lose, instead of that, you actually get to go on a fun paid shopping trip with your friends. You can actually say, hey guys, let's go to a local store. We're just going to go shop. We're going to have fun with it. You're going to go to the store, you're going to scan items, the most random things in the world that you would not believe you're going to make money on. You're going to be making money on brooms and making money on detergents and making money on microphones, just things you would never think of in general. You're making money off of coloring books. It's incredible. So you're going to go to these stores, you're going to scan these items, and immediately you're going to know how much money will I make if I buy this product and send it to Amazon, how much money will I actually make at the end of the day? So you know before you walk out of that store what your estimated income would be if those products sold. And that's what this whole training is about, knowing what will sell, how quickly it will sell, and how you can turn that into cash for yourself. Okay. By the way, note that up until this point, we have not said a peep about recruiting anybody or anything like that. This is pure customer-to-customer retail business model. Okay, you're going to learn about what you should do on your first shopping trip, how you're going to pack these items, and you're going to ship them into Amazon. We're going to show you then bundling and trend strategies, which is how do you cash in on big trends? A big movie is coming out, or a big season holiday is coming about. How do you cash in on that? How do you go to the store, pick the right products out, and just absolutely blow it out to the point where we have people, right now we have people doing $3 to $4 million a month as a team in sales, just doing these shopping trips. It's incredible. You're going to learn about ungating, which means you're going to learn how to get into additional categories on Amazon where most sellers are not selling. So you kind of get to be, more unique than everybody else. You're some of the few people who will be selling in there. And then, of course, we're going to learn about how to scale up our business. Okay, so far we are still talking about our most basic level, which is Prime for $49.95. Then you're also going to learn how to sell on Bonanza, which is the Google Shopping Network, essentially. There are different companies, but we're going to leverage the Google Shopping Network. You're going to learn how to create your account, how you're going to list these items, and very special strategies that apply to Bonanza. Everything else is the same. You already now, at this point, you already know how the system works. You already know how to select the items that will sell, how to ship, how to complete the order. You're never going to be touching the inventory when you're doing drop shipping. So you basically have the whole thing figured out at this point. And we are talking about 3 hours into you being an INFINii member. You have figured out all of this incredible stuff that 99.9% of the world out there, never actually sees or understands. It's invisible to them, and you will feel like your eyes have been opened to a completely new world. And you can now see things that nobody else can. I mean, you kind of feel like Harry Potter or something. And you will now know how to magically create money from Amazon and eBay. It's incredible. So you're going to learn how to do that with Bonanza. And now on top of that, you're also going to get a special piece of software. You're going to get an advanced listing creator, which is the fastest and the most efficient listing creator. We have some incredible tweaks in the background that help your product, your listings rank much better on eBay. When you create listings with this, you're going to actually have your listings rank better than a listing created by hand, because there are some wonderful things that we're doing in there at the same time, and we have this in the training for you. And you also will get access to what we call the eloquent product research. That's actually named more after the background engine that we use for this. But this will allow you to discover products that are going to be the most profitable for you. You're going to come in here, you're going to click a few buttons, get your products, list them on eBay, and move on to the next product. It's all about speed and getting you guys as many listings and as much exposure out there as possible. Get you to 100, 200 listings quickly, so you are profitable as quickly as possible. Okay? So we're going to have the advanced listing creator in your back office on December 7th. We're going to have the eloquent product research available on January 15th, 2016, okay, which is actually pretty close. And that basically concludes what you get in Prime. Now, if you think that this is a good value, can you please go on the thread in Facebook and say, Prime is a great value? Just say that, just so we can see how many of you actually get what an incredible thing this is. Right here, you're selling on Amazon, you're selling on eBay, you're selling on Bonanza, day one, you know how to do all of that stuff, and on top of that, you're going to get access to software that allows you to do it in pretty much an autopilot manner. By the way, training startup. Yes?
While you're commenting on that, one of the things that I didn't understand at first, and some of the individuals who have not done a lot of e-commerce may understand, is all the time when I was seeing, UPS dropping off stuff at the house, and I was reading, Amazon Prime, and I never understood that when I was going online and ordering something, that it wasn't Amazon's product. I assumed that, if I bought a product from Amazon, it was owned by Amazon. I never assumed that there was a third party, like an INFINii member behind the scenes, that was actually, sending the products into Amazon and doing the fulfillment by Amazon. So I think that's a clear message that people have to understand, is that people have no idea they're even buying from you. They're buying it directly from Amazon, your product, and that's over that 90-day ramp-up phase begins to really make a presence there. And it's not just you doing it, it's Amazon to them, the appearance of Amazon selling it even though you're behind it.
Yeah, and in fact, roughly 46% of all sales on Amazon are through their FBA program, their Fulfilled by Amazon program, that are all third-party sellers. So it's a massive, massive percentage. Here's a funny thing. My wife purchased something from Amazon a few days back, and it was drop shipped to us. And it very much, I'm almost sure of this, that was actually one of our members who was selling that product, who drop shipped to us. It was really funny just to look at it, because I just couldn't help but laugh about it. It's great, and we love it, obviously. But that is what happens with Prime. Okay? And now let's talk a little bit about search.
Real quick, before we go to that, there's one question that I keep getting in the Facebook page. If you guys are looking at Hitesh's screen and it looks a little bit blurry, or you can't make it out as well as you want to, on the page that you're on, go ahead and highlight, just hover over the video. You'll see a little gearbox. Click on that gearbox and set it to HD, and you'll be able to read everything on the screen. Just want to toss that out there.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you should be able to see this very clearly. So please just select HD, and we should be all good. Okay, now I also saw questions about Springboard. We're going to talk about Springboard in great depth right after this, and then we're going to talk about the affiliate or the partner side right after that, and we're going to go through all of the questions, all of the details, everything else that you guys have been wondering about and trying to figure out. We're going to go over everything, okay? So let's talk about Surge quick, and here's what happens with Surge. On Surge, which is our $149.95 level, and here's a very important thing to understand about Surge. When you pay $149.95, this includes Prime in it. So you're not getting Prime and then getting Surge separately. If you're getting Surge, you're basically paying an extra $100 to cover everything additional. So keep that in mind as we go through this, because you don't want to think to yourself, oh, my budget is going to be this much money. The maximum amount that you will pay to INFINii Commerce for access to all the training and the software and everything else is actually never going to exceed $400, and we walk through that. But before I break this down a little bit more, let me talk a little bit about the training style. The style of training is very, very focused on speed. Okay, so you have very quick videos instead of long drawn videos that try to cover every single specific. You have very quick videos that cover the overview, that cover the process, so you can actually get going instead of getting stuck, and instead of getting in the analysis paralysis, you actually just get to listing quickly. Meanwhile, below each video, we provide you with a PDF, which has screenshots of every step and a write-up on every step, and we keep updating that as needed. So if you have any specific questions, or you just prefer to read instead of preferring to see a video, you can do that. You can go through a PDF and get it done quickly as well. I personally am a faster reader than I am a video watcher, so I would prefer that, for example. So all of the training in INFINii basically follows that format. And then if you have more questions or you have concerns, you can actually go to our internal forums and you can ask questions there. You can see what other people have struggled with or what other people's successes have been. And Kev, maybe you can show the forum a little bit when I pass the screen on to you. So let's go for Surge quick. It's very straightforward. The idea with Surge is that you've established the foundation. You now have your sales coming in, you're primed and ready, and now it's time to blow the roof and get as many sales as possible through the door. So Surge is designed to actually help you take advantage of all the other traffic out there, increase your reach in the e-commerce world, and start generating a lot more income by targeting the upcoming trends and seasons as quickly as possible. So you're going to come in here, we're going to show you starting January 15th, because we need a month of data gathering to put that in there, and everybody to connect their accounts and so on. We basically show you personalized data. Basically, we look at your accounts and say, based on your account and our analysis of your account, here are the categories that are the best for you to target, and here are the categories that are not the best for you to target. Here are the categories where you want to let go of the products, take down those listings and replace it with these products instead. And by the way, here are some upcoming trends that fit your category. Go jump in those. And that is a tremendous difference. For people who actually know how that works, it's a tremendous difference in sales. At the same time, you get access to training on boosting your traffic, where you are able to now generate traffic from Facebook. You'll be able to target Amazon PPC, YouTube PPC. We'll have some other training in there as well. And you will also learn how to do follow-up with your customers as they've been generated. And this is something that we have very, very strong data on, where people who use this follow-up system generate nearly twice the money that non-follow-up members do. So members who actually have Surge and are actually using the follow-up with customers option basically generate about 2 times the money or 2 times the sales that the members do who are not using that system. And this basically sends out an email or sends out a point of contact to your buyers from eBay automatically and tells them, hey, I also have this other product. Would you like to purchase that? You just bought a baby mattress. It looks like you might also want to buy an organic baby teething gel. You might also want to buy something that's incredible in terms of follow-up sales. You all know that. You've all actually experienced it yourself, because that's how Amazon markets to you. That's how all these companies market to you, and you know it works. And then we also cover additional e-commerce platforms for you, from Shopify and WooCommerce to BigCommerce, Magento. And then in the first quarter of 2016, we will be releasing our own e-commerce platform called INFINii Stores, where you will be able to create listings, you'll be able to drive traffic, right out the gate, merchant processing already provided for you, all of the special things that you would need to get very good results, like upsells and couponing systems and all that stuff is already built in for you, so you can just go in there and just start absolutely crushing it. We have members right now who are using Shopify or Magento or some of the other companies out there and driving traffic from Facebook and driving traffic from PPC and are doing well into 5 figures a month in profits. So you absolutely want to get in on that as soon as you can. And finally, like I explained, we have the analytics software, which is called Insights, and it looks at your account, looks at all the stuff in your account, and gives you suggestions on it, coming on 15th of January 2016. Now, by the way, at this point, if you think Surge is a good value, you might want to make a post about that as well, just so we can get a good look at the ratio between Prime and Surge and see what our members think so far. And then finally, you have Excel, which is our $399 product, $399.95 a month. Now, keep in mind, this is, in terms of actual cost, it's the lowest price training of the sort, lowest price system of the sort that exists out there when it comes to dealing with selling on Amazon in a much bigger way, in terms of bringing in your own product lines and selling them on Amazon to create a legacy business, something you can actually leave for your kids and say, here you go, kids, you have this huge business that I'm leaving behind for you. And I hope all of you get to live forever, but unfortunately the reality is that most of you won't. So you will want to plan for something like that. And you will want to develop a business that you can one day say to your kids, hey, I'm leaving this line of this brand name to you, which is worth $1 million a year in sales on Amazon, or $1 million a year in sales in e-commerce in general. So that's essentially the idea behind Excel. We really worked hard to bring this to an incredibly affordable cost for the average user, because typically somebody who would try to teach you stuff like this will charge $5,000 to $20,000 and will never actually get you the type of training that you truly need. One of the benefits we have is that we have the highest number of the most successful Amazon sellers right now in our system, and we're able to actually connect you with them and get you the direct training with these guys. So here is how the training goes in this. You have training on increasing your Amazon sales by leveraging other sellers, by actually targeting products from other sellers, putting them in there. You're essentially not having to handle anything at all. You learn about importing your own products and branding your own products and creating a product series that will be worth tens of thousands of dollars for you down the road if you do it the right way, and if you're able to actually make the whole process play out for you. What plays really well into this is the idea of Springboard and INFINii Marketplace, where you're able to actually get these products without having to go through this massive process yourself. So you're going to see how that works in Symphony together, and it's just absolutely beautiful to watch. In terms of increasing your profits, you're going to learn about how you can use cashback to massively increase your profits. This is something you only want to do when you are doing a significant number of sales, you're doing a slightly higher level of sales. You can start it in the beginning, you can start it early on, but it's really well suited for people who are cash flowing a lot of sales through their business. It basically adds another 3 to, in some cases, 10% to your bottom line. So you're making $30,000, and now you're suddenly making in $34,000 to $35,000 by adding this one thing in. You also go over discount management and how you can actually raise your profit margin tremendously. And finally, we also go over advanced tracking and how your sales work in increasing your sales in this form of selling on Amazon. We're also going to be releasing our inventory management system and a repricing system on January 15th. Again, as you can see, almost all of the software is going to be rolled out together on January 15th. That gives the system time to assimilate all of the users we have right now and all the users which we expect will be tens of thousands of more users coming in over the month of December. Okay, now I'm going to pause for a second because we're about to break into the other pieces of INFINii and what the other things are going to look like. And then we're going to talk a lot more about Springboard. We're going to show you some examples. We're going to show you how it's actually going to look and how it's going to work. And we're also going to cover all of the affiliate side of things, or the binary structure and things like that. We're going to go over that in a couple of minutes. So what I'm going to do is pass this over to Kevin. Kevin, if you want to go over the community aspect that we are setting up now with our own internal forums where people are taken care of and people can get support from everybody in real time without having to worry about the way Facebook works and so on, that would be awesome. In the meantime, I'll get ready with the rest of the stuff.
Definitely. So we wanted to make some changes. What we've done in the past, I mean, obviously we have a support where you can open up a support ticket and things of that nature. But what we wanted to do to kind of go above and beyond that was to give you guys a way to ask questions while you're actually on the training site. So if you're sitting there and you're watching a video about opening your eBay account, not only will you have a PDF that you can download that will walk you through that as well, but you can ask a question right there. And as those questions come in, we go ahead and answer them for you. And the ones that are most relevant, we kind of build a frequently asked questions, if you will, directly below the video. So I think that's going to help a lot of people right out the gate not have to navigate away from the page when they don't understand something. They can ask the question there, and they can see what questions we believe are relevant and are get asked over and over again and just view them right there. Number two, we actually have a forum. A lot of the more extensive training and in-depth training that we're going to be doing is going to happen on the forums. You'll be able to hop in there, look at a topic, and see what other people are saying about it. If you have a question, and if a video needs to be cut about it, or if you have some of our expert trainers log in there and go ahead and answer those questions, you'll be able to get your answers in a forum. Also, down the road here very soon, you'll be able to just pick up the phone and call in. For those of you leaders who are out there that are building huge organizations and doing all these things, you'll have definitely some special contact with us as you go ahead and grow out your teams, as you start hitting ranks inside the compensation plan. But the whole idea behind this, and what we really want to delve into, is make sure that anytime you have a question, it's easily accessible for you to get the answer. That's the key, right? Anything that goes in depth, you can do that on the forums. Quick questions, right under the videos. Right under the videos. Ask a question, wait a little bit, answer populates in, move on with your day. Or take a look and see what other people have asked about that video. Now, keep in mind that this isn't super extensive 25, 35 hours worth of tutorials that you'll have to go through because you don't really have time for that. A lot of the tutorials are bite-sized, so you can knock out a whole, go through, watch them all, get the gist of it, and then go back and watch them one by one, 5, 10, 15-minute videos to get you guys up and running, to get you moving. So that's kind of how that aspect works, and we look forward to be hanging out ourselves inside the forums, see the questions that are coming in, see the answers that you guys have, to see what our trainers are go ahead and providing you guys for feedback. And the cool thing is, this is an ever-evolving thing. E-commerce sales, anything that you're doing where you're working with other companies, they tend to change their policies, their procedures, they tend to change how they do business. And what can happen now is inside of the forums, you'll be able to just go ahead and see, oh, update, eBay made this change. And these are things that will affect your business. Or, hey, new resource that we recommend inside of INFINii. And so as long as you're a member, you'll have access to those forums and can really reach out to the entire community as a whole to go ahead and ask questions and get answers and things of that nature. And that takes us away from traditionally what we've done is have Facebook groups. That takes us away from that because you can't monitor Facebook groups as easily as you can a forum. You can't say if someone's not an active member anymore that they don't have access to that Facebook group. So it keeps the people who are active inside the system, the folks that you want to learn from, right there at your fingertips, able to get in touch with them, able to have help. And when we see the need arise, we will hop on and we will have mass webinars where we're able to get out more information on a broader scale. But it's really important to us that we dial down to the individual questions that people are asking and make sure that the community as a whole has a chance to answer them as well, as well as our trainers. So this is the direction that we are going, and that INFINii forums is up, and you guys will have access to that very, very soon. Like I think maybe tonight or tomorrow. But you'll be able to get in there and start asking questions and see the topics that we set forth. Also, we have a frequently asked questions on another site, so if you don't want to hop in the forums and check there, we will also have that available to the public to take a look at as well. But understand that with INFINii, when you're hopping in here, when you're joining this family, when you're joining this team, it's like moving a curtain away. That behind that curtain is seeing the world a little bit differently. Looking at items that you'd normally purchase at a store and saying, man, I could make money from that, and your perception changes. And the questions that you have now will change and adapt over time. And we want to make sure you have a community and a place to always be able to get those answers, because this isn't just some videos on a website or anything like that, or just some software. It's more of a community-based activity to make sure you guys are good to go and have everything you need. So I want to do something real quick, unless you're ready, Hitesh. I got one more thing.
But I would hate to cut you off when you're about to do one more thing. But
well,
I'm ready to go whenever.
I'll tell you what, we can actually wait kind of towards the end. What I want to do is I want to ask a very specific question towards the end of this hangout. So be prepared for that, guys. We're gonna do something that I think you'll enjoy, and I think that everyone that you're introducing INFINii to will see some value on it. So we'll pick that up in a little bit. So if you're ready, I'll kick it on back over to you and let you go through your stuff.
Beautiful. Well, let me show this one thing quick. Okay, so I'm going to show some examples of Springboard products so I can walk you guys through exactly how Springboard works, because that's a question that a lot of you have. And another question that a lot of you have is, how does this work for international members, and what pieces are applicable for an international user from day one? So let's talk about that behavior right out of the gate. Whether you're international or not, okay, ignoring the fact whether you're international or not, one of the big pieces there is you are going to have a ramp-up process. You're going to have 90 days in every business, but especially in these businesses, you're going to have 90 days of ramp-up. You're going to have to ramp up on Amazon. You're going to have to ramp up on eBay. In eBay, you'll actually, if you're international, you'll have to ramp up in a slightly different way, especially. You'll have 90 days before you can actually sell on eBay in the US. So this whole issue and this question of what do you do during this 90 days is what we're addressing with the Springboards. The question of what do I do as an international member, keep in mind, as an international member, you are able to sell on eBay in many places. You are able to use Springboards to sell on Amazon. You are able to use Bonanza to sell on Bonanza right out the gate. You don't even have any kind of ramp-up process there. You're able to sell on WooCommerce and Shopify and all these other pieces yourself. So the whole reason that we included so many of these things at the basic levels is to make sure that you are able to ramp up and start generating sales from day one without having to go through the issues that you typically do as an international member, something that I have related to in the past. Now, the other important thing over there is that if you're a Springboard member, if you're using Springboards, you're going to use Springboards to basically help you get to the stage where we showed you Ken's account was. We're trying to get you to that point. This is not to replace your e-commerce business. It's there for you to essentially get yourself to the point where you're able to start selling yourself enough that you don't need to use Springboard anymore. Okay, it's something that we're doing for our members to help them get a kickstart. That's literally what a Springboard is. It's not supposed to replace everything that you're doing. So I'm going to show you a few examples here. Let's go ahead and put on this screen share.
Hey, Hitesh, on that note, there's no limit to how long they can be involved in Springboard. Am I correct?
No, there is no limit on it. It's an actual service, guys. Look, here's the thing. Imagine you went to a website that said, hey, here are some products that we can sell you, and here is a product price. And we can ship it to you, or we can set up on your Amazon account for you. That's literally what this says. Okay? I think a lot of people got confused or are trying to make it more complicated because sometimes simplicity is scary. Because if it's that simple, a lot of people get stuck because they go, man, if it's that simple and I fail, that means I failed. And it's a very weird dynamic because sometimes people try to make things sound more complicated because it gives them an out. It gives them an excuse for saying, oh, see, that's why it didn't work for me because it was so complex. Look, it just worked for Ken, okay? And Ken is a guy for whom that sounded wrong a little bit. But my point was that it worked for Ken. It worked for Ken, who has had no experience in this. And it's very straightforward because he chose to work with somebody who has experience in it. And that's all it is. That's the point of a community in INFINii. And we're going to show you actually some of those other aspects to this, especially for those of you who are international and absolutely going to love a couple of the other things we're going to talk about here, from certifications to projects and so on. So you're looking at an example of a product that we have coming in. This is one of the big difference between Springboard products versus products that you will bring in yourself to sell on Amazon as an Excel member. These are branded products that are already selling. They usually have a very strict process of getting in. You have to have reseller licenses. You have to have a brick and mortar location. We have our own warehouses and be able to use that to get in with them. And you also need to be able to purchase significant amount of units up front. You can't say, hey, can I sell, a couple of these and pocket some of the profit and use that? That doesn't work here. These are very profitable products that are selling well, and we are able to get in with these products. And as a Springboard member, you're able to leverage that with us. So you're able to come in, and you'll be able to come in and see what is the price for this. In our case, the price on this, for example, might be $21 to $25 in that range, depending on if you are a Prime member or an Excel member. As an Excel member, you will get the best price possible. As the Prime member, you're going to get a great price nonetheless. You're still going to be profitable, but it's not going to be as strong as Excel. Okay, and that's only reasonable. That makes a lot of sense. If you are an Amazon Prime member, right? If you're on Amazon and you're a Prime member, you get the cheapest prices. You get other perks in there. The same way with us, if you're an Excel member on INFINii, you get certain perks. You get cheaper pricing, you get lower management fees and things like that. So you have this product, for example, that we're going to bring in, and this product is selling, hundreds of units every month. So we're able to bring in, and you will be able to go into your back office, look at this product, and it's going to tell you this product is currently selling for, it's available through us for $25, let's say, or $21 and so on. And you're able to purchase this from us and send it into Amazon and participate in this process yourself. And that's one of the examples. You also have some other examples. Here's another product that's selling for $149, okay, basically 150 bucks. It looks like they copied our search pricing, but they're selling really well. They have great reviews. We're able to get in with them. As you can see, they got some awards and stuff going for them, which is causing a lot of buzz and virality. And this is a great time to be targeting toys because you're coming up on Christmas and New Year's. It actually doesn't die down until February in many cases. So you have these great products that you're able to get in on. And for this particular product, we have profit margins ranging from 30% for Excel users to about 20% to 21% for our Prime users. So again, you're able to get in on this, you're able to get a cheaper price, and you're able to say, hey, I want to list this, here is the price I would like to list it at. As you can see, there are other people listing it at different prices. You can say, I want to list it as a different price. We give you a very strict guideline, and we say, listen, here is the ideal price that you want to use. This is the best price to target, and that's where you're going to sell the most. We give you advice on that. You select that price, and we basically take care of the rest from that moment on. We send the product into Amazon, it comes to our warehouse, the management fee covers the cost of shipping and bundling and packaging, all those things, whatever we have to do. We send it to Amazon, it starts selling there, and you basically, whenever your product sells, if you bought one of these products, if you had one of these units, then when this particular product sells on Amazon, you would generate profit on it just like you would generate profit if you were selling on Amazon yourself, minus the small management fee that we have to make sure that we are able to do this properly as well. I mean, obviously, we have certain costs involved in the process, the warehouses and so on, and that's all we charge. This is not necessarily something that we're trying to make massive profits off of. Finally, we have another product here. Here's an example. It's selling for $13. If you're an Excel member, you're able to get this for $4 from Springboard, and you're able to sell it, and that works out to almost 100% profit margin when you target this particular product. And you're able to buy it. You're able to say, I want to buy 10 of these or 5 of these, whatever. You will get 5 of these. If you're a Prime member, you have 15 restrictions, so you could buy up to 15, and you would buy these. You would send them into Amazon, and when they sell, the profit from it, the actual sale price from it, shows up in your INFINii account, and you're able to use that as you will on your INFINii system as approved balance. So these are some examples, and they are very realistic examples. As you can see, it ranges from anywhere from 20% profit margin, in some cases to 100% profit margin. But the idea is that why would somebody not do it? Because it's very close to hands-free thanks to Amazon. Amazon does an excellent job of stocking your product, shipping the product, selling the product, doing all of that stuff. Let them handle all of it. Just pay them a little bit for it, and you get to enjoy the benefits of it. Again, as you can see, these are branded products. These are typically the type of products that are harder to get into, and they sell really well because they are built off of trends and the culture and what is popular in the world as a whole. So these are harder to get into, and we're able to get into them, and that's the benefit of using Springboard. Again, the idea with Springboard is that it should help you cover your costs. It should help you get into this process, and while you are ramping up your own eBay, Amazon, Shopify, Bonanza, and all these other accounts, while you are basically increasing your sales on those places, in the meantime, you can be using the Springboard. There will come a time where the Springboard will not be as profitable for you as your other e-commerce business will be. In fact, that's the aim. That's what we want for all of you. We want everybody to make more money in the e-commerce side than their Springboard side. That's how we will build tremendous long-term value for everyone. And we already know that's going to happen based on the results we have right now from our existing members. So these are some of the examples, and this is how the whole process plays out. I hope it clarifies it a lot more. It's very, very simple. You're going to go into your back office. You're going to see this product. You're going to see the Springboard price for you versus the retail price on Amazon. We highly recommend that you verify the price yourself. You're going to say, I want to buy X units of this because that's how many I want to participate in, or that's how many I want to buy. Here is the management fee for you guys shipping the product into Amazon and finding the product on my behalf and negotiating on my behalf. And that's literally all of the process. Okay, it's very, very straightforward. Now, regarding there's a question that should come up in your mind. What if I have 15 products available, I only use 5 in a month? What happens to the remainder? We refresh you back to 15 every month. Okay, so every time your billing cycle hits, we refresh you back to 15, and you're able to use 15. So if you don't use all 15 in a month, you don't use all 15. You'll be back to 15 at the next month time. They're not going to stack because we do not want the danger of a few people taking over Springboard entirely by themselves. So we're very mindful of that. We're trying to be careful about how many people are able to get in on that and do that. I'd also just say many of the people, as they move on to building their own e-commerce businesses, they will just stop using Springboard because they'll be making so much more money just doing it themselves. That's just what we foresee will happen over the long run. But we have a tremendous solution here for international members, for people who are just starting out. It completely changes the game, even more so than what we're already doing. If we did not have the Springboard, without the Springboard, we've already changed the game. We already have a massive e-commerce business going for most of our members. You're able to get in and build out with that, build out from there. You're able to do, as an international member, you're able to do eBay, Bonanza, Shopify, WooCommerce, all of these things pretty much immediately. You don't have to wait for that. If you're looking to do Amazon, there's a certain series of steps that you can take to do that yourself as well. But in the meantime, while you're wrapping all of that up, use the Springboard, get in on the process, and start generating actual retail sales and actual retail profit. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys, and it makes sense on why this works and how it works and why it is as awesome as it is and why it's getting the buzz that it is. Go ahead, Ken.
All right, the 15 units is for Prime. How many at the Surge and Excel?
Surge get 30, and Excel people get 60. And also keep in mind that Surge and Excel, you have lower transactional fees. You pay 2.5% at Surge and 2% at Excel, and you also have better pricing available. You get slightly better prices at Surge, and you get the best prices possible at Excel. Now, let me clarify this part, because there is going to be a subset of the population, the people who are listening in right now. We have a few thousand people on here. Of the people who are listening right now, there are going to be some who, in their mind, will have this really horrible thought. Their thought is going to be, well, that's not fair. Why do the Excel people get the best price? I want the best price too. Okay, let me explain who we are modeling. The company we are modeling right now is called Amazon. If you look at Amazon's own disclosures on how they make their money, it's actually very straightforward. Most of their actual profit is generated using their cloud services, Prime, and so on. That's where they generate most of their real profit. On the actual product sales side, they don't even break even. In many cases, they're taking a loss. And they understand that's okay. For us, it's the same way. We know that even if we take a slight loss, or if we bend over backwards and just go nuts and help you guys out as much as we can with the Springboard by giving you the lowest prices possible, we are going to attract people to the Excel level, which is how we are going to maintain profitability as well. Okay, it's a very simple business model. It's us looking at the big picture and saying, let's make sure that we are not necessarily pocketing a bunch from Springboard for ourselves. Let's make sure that our members are able to generate some income from it. And in the process, the whole system will profit. The whole system will benefit, everybody will benefit, and we'll be able to build a very good company. Secondly, you shouldn't even be worried about that. If you want the best pricing, work up to it. All you need to do is spend your next 90 days really focused on ramping up your business, really focused on building out your e-commerce presence, and you can very easily move up to the Excel level. That's just how business works. So when you come into this company, when you come into INFINii, you have to understand what we have is a real e-commerce business. Okay, you're going to be coming in here, you're going to be running your own business. You have to have a business mindset. You have to run this like a real business. You're not going to come in here and run this like a, oh, I'm going to sit around and wait and see what happens. And if nothing happens, then I will, complain about it a little bit and I'll move on with my life. Then I can guarantee you're never going to have success doing that, no matter what you do. So when you come in here, we really want you in the mindset of this is a real business. Here is my product. Here is my retail cost. Here is my internal cost. There is clear profit margin here. Let's go at it. And you're going to do that 100 times over if you have to until you are profitable. If you go in with that mindset, I can tell you you're going to do really well. In fact, I'll give you right now a pure statistical number that this is a factual thing just based on the numbers we have. If you make 114 listings on eBay, you will be able to move to an eBay store and you will save money. Okay, the cost of the eBay store will actually make up for itself because you'll have lower fees, you'll have lower costs, and you will be able to start listing a lot more. You'll be able to take advantage of a lot of special techniques and special strategies they're going to learn about in INFINii, and you will be able to generate a much more significant income. That's the cutoff point. People who have more than 114 listings, vast majority of them do really well. People who give up before that, if you come in, you say, I made 5 listings, man, I got 1 sale, I'm just going to not do it anymore, then your results will reflect that, and you won't get to that point. So again, keep in mind this is the process. This is what the ramp up looks like. We have a lot of people who come in and start making money from day one. We have a lot of people who actually come in their first month they do $100,000. I mean, we have examples like that. But this right here represents what the baseline ramp up actually looks like. You have a month of struggle, and then you have a month of hard work, and then you have a month of profitability, and then you scale up from there. That's how it works. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who have bought into this very insane mindset that to succeed, you have to love what you work. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just have to put your head down, and you have to do the really boring, tedious tasks of putting up listings and finding products and putting them up. Now, we make it super easy for you and super fast for you, but you have to do that work. If you enjoyed it, it wouldn't be called work anymore. It would be called your hobby that pays you. If you think that you're going to just do this without having to sacrifice a little bit of entertainment at times, you're not going to be very successful. And we are talking about this so much because this is a new beginning. We have this massive company that has every indication that we're going to be a massive player in 2016. And we want to set this with the right mindset for all of our members, not just for our sake, but for your sake as well, because we want you to be profitable. All right, so rant stuff off. Let's move on to...
Yeah, sure, quick.
Yes.
Before we move on, a lot of the questions that I'm getting, people are asking about the Springboard and will they need to have their own Amazon accounts. I want you to clarify that whole situation, especially for international. I want you to clarify that for me.
Yes, absolutely. So you have 2 options available basically to yourself. You can get the products, which is called the INFINii Marketplace. You're able to purchase the products yourself, and you can sell them on your own accounts and so on. We also give you the option of leveraging our accounts, which is kind of awesome. Okay, so please pay attention. We actually give you the option of leveraging our accounts. You get to define certain parameters. You get to tell us, this product, I'm getting it for $4. I want to list it for 14 instead of the 13 that you suggest. Now, we're going to give you some very strong indications. We're going to try and tell you, hey, you really should be targeting this price if you want to do the best. So you can go with their default pricing, or you can do your own pricing if you want. You can be in control of that, and that's one of the ways that you could do it. So you can basically define that and say, yeah, I want to sell this for $15 instead. Odds are it's not going to sell very well if you try to do it for $15, but you have that ability to define that. So you get to define those things and leverage our accounts and our warehousing and our process management and our incredible staff, many of whom you're going to get to meet. And you're able to leverage that whole process all along the way and generate profits off of that. Okay, so yes, if you're international, if you do not have an Amazon account, you are able to leverage our accounts. You are able to pay for that service and get it done for you. But the sales are dependent on whether or not you follow the directions, whether or not the product actually sells, and we want to make that super clear. The actual money that you generate comes from the product selling on Amazon. It does not come from you purchasing this product and then it'll magically deposit money for you. No, somebody has to buy this bottle because they understand that BPA-free plastic is better for their kids and they don't want their kids to break it, and that's why they're going to buy this. And the kid is a Batman fan, so that's why they're going to get this for their child. That's basically, and I know this is Superman, by the way. I know that. Because some people are like, he's Indian. He doesn't know the difference between Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
Or Hello Kitty.
So I want to do something real quick before we go on. All right. So I want to do something real quick. I want you guys to do me a favor. I'm going to hop over on the Facebook fan page, and I'm going to make a post. Okay. There's a lot of people watching this right now that have been with us for quite some time, and then there's a lot of people watching this for the first time, or are not familiar with the successes of our members and what they've been able to achieve. So I want you guys to see something. I want you guys to see something. I'm going to post a question, and I'd like everyone to leave a comment, even if it's #INFINii, even if it's as small as that. But I have 2 questions. Are you excited about INFINii, and have you grown in income with the training tools and the concept in INFINii? I want people to see what kind of results are possible, and I want people to just get out there and let me know if you're excited about this stuff and if you're ready to kind of get this moving and rock and rolling with it. So hop on there, send that #viral. Put #INFINii at the end of whatever you say, whatever you post. If you say I'm ready to rock, #INFINii. Send it viral. Let everybody see this stuff trend, because we have a lot of people on this call right now, a lot of amazing people, and we want to get the word out for you guys. So do me a favor, hop on over there and let's send that bad boy trending. So turn it back over.
You can see that on my screen, by the way, for those of you who are wondering about it. This right here is your post. You can see it's pinned to the top, and go ahead and start responding, like it. We would love for you to share your specific results.
Guys,
for some reason, your screen's not showing right now.
We're at minute 80. We're at minute 80 for our presentation. I just wanted to let everyone know, if we don't get questions answered, we really want to make sure we get through all of our curriculum before things get too late.
Absolutely. Well, I'll stay on a little longer. I'll stay on a little bit longer to answer all the questions that we need to answer, because we do want to answer everything. We want to set this, set it off the right way. So let's go over the remaining curriculum quick, and then we will come back to this. We will see what happens on this post, and we'll go from there. So let's come back to the screen. Are you able to see my paint screen again?
Black.
Do you see this?
It's in and out, Hitesh. Just give it a second to load.
Okay. I'll just restart it quick. Okay, you should be able to see me right now, which is not the most important thing by a long shot. Okay. And let's turn on the screen share now, and you should be able to see the system instead. All right, are you able to see the paint now?
You got it. You got it.
All right. So now this is going to address a couple of the massive things that we talked about before. It's going to address these little, not little, but the massive spaces out there, the world out there of commerce as a whole, not just e-commerce, but commerce as a whole. So also going to address some of the questions that you might have if, oh, what do I do if I'm a DST member? What are my choices, and so on and so forth. So let's talk really quickly about INFINii Digital, which is coming the first quarter of 2016. And if you intend on participating on INFINii Digital as a product publisher, as a vendor, as a seller, then please contact our support desk. Please contact us and start submitting your trainings. We'll talk about it with you, because we want to make sure the first time that we release these products that they do really well. Okay, so we're going to explain this process. So here's what INFINii Digital does. So there's a roughly $40 to $50 billion. The jury is still out on what exactly counts as true digital product sales. But there's about anywhere from $40 to $60 billion in sales every year on true digital content. Okay, we're talking about videos, we're talking about ebooks, we're talking about software, we're talking about all sorts of stuff that fits in those categories. And this digital content, every single one of you who's on this call right now has consumed it already. You're a part of INFINii right now. That means you're consuming digital content. You're a part of DST, you're consuming digital content. You're a part of anything online. If you've been using YouTube, you're a part of digital content. It's crazy. Okay? So let's talk about how do we participate in this side of the world, and how does that apply to all of you who are in DST at this time, or all of you who have other companies and other products and other things you want to put out there. So the way the digital world works is exactly the same as the physical world. In the physical world, you have this process, right? You have a manufacturer, and the manufacturer sends a product to a reseller who goes and negotiates and does all that stuff and does the marketing for the manufacturer on his behalf. And then you have customers who buy the product from the reseller on a marketplace. They buy it on Amazon, they buy it on eBay, they buy it at Walmart, they buy it at a local store, wherever it is, they buy the product at a marketplace. Super simple concept, right? Very, very simple. This should not be confusing to anybody. The same thing happens in the digital world. You have what we call a publisher, which is a product creator, and then you have an affiliate, who is a product reseller, and then you have customers on a marketplace. And in this case, that marketplace is called INFINii Digital. Okay? This is basically how INFINii Digital works. You come in as a publisher of a product, as an affiliate for a product. You can do both of the things. You don't have to worry about which one. You can do both. You can do neither. It's completely up to you. You have plenty of freedom in this. What you're going to do is you're going to publish a product. For example, we have a wonderful couple that does really well, and one of the things that they do is they have this very advanced techniques and the methodology that they use behind couponing. They use coupons and they go buy $300 worth of stuff from Walmart and they pay $6 for it. Okay, it sounds insane, sounds completely ridiculous. I've actually seen their receipts, and they do this. Now they're able to teach this to others. They're able to provide support for others, and they're able to do that for $50, $60. They're able to do that for other people and teach them the stuff. So let's say that that is an example of couponing product. That's a digital product. It's videos and it's training and it's content and it's forum that is working with them. And this product costs, let's say, $70. Every time this product is sold on the INFINii Digital Marketplace, we generate 5% as BV. At the same time, the product publisher, just like the manufacturer tells the reseller what the margin is going to be for them, the publisher tells the affiliate how much commission they're going to pay the affiliate. On digital products, oftentimes it's about 50%, sometimes more. So let's say they offer 50% in commissions to the affiliate. So the affiliate who makes the sale, who brings the customer, and the customer buys this couponing product, gets in the neighborhood of $35. Okay, 5% of the sales price, which is 3.5, basically gets converted into BV in our system for our partners in the company as a whole as well. So our partners now have the ability to generate 50% straight up in dollar amounts, plus generate BV in their entire structure at the same time. And we'll go over this in a little bit of more detail. Now, here is the biggest benefit of doing this. INFINii Digital represents possibly the biggest marketplace right now of active users who are actually making money and doing really well. Okay? And here is what happened. I'll give you a case study. We had a beta product that we launched on a very subdued version of INFINii Digital through our DST marketplace. And we launched this product called the Shopify Domination product. And this product was launched. This is not our product. Okay, Kevin, Jason, and I didn't make this product. This was a product by our members. And these members put the product up. They paid an affiliate commission to other people who drove sales. And this product did, okay, it actually did $340,000 plus in sales in 1 week. Okay. Because we were able to drive a lot of traffic for them. Our members really liked the product. They wanted that product. They did really well with it. In fact, the product is still back there right now in the DST side. And they were able to generate this tremendous amount of income as the product publishers. They made a lot of money with that. And then the affiliates who promoted it made a lot of money with that. And then if this was an INFINii digital in its true form, it would have also generated a tremendous amount of business volume for our members. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 15,000 BD would have been generated just off of this one product. And the amazing part is you are just leveraging activity in the entire ecosystem. Right? The same guy who's selling products on Amazon and eBay is also buying this product for his consumption and is then going to Shopify and selling products, which is also generating BD in the system. Now he goes and becomes a Surge member to get more stuff in there. And as a partner of the company, you will absolutely appreciate, at a very deep level, how much money this will put in your pocket as somebody who will be able to act as an affiliate without having to do anything as in terms of promotion. Because when your downline members purchase this product, you will either be generating commissions or you will be generating BD. In one of the two cases, you're still benefiting from it. This also eliminates a massive issue that you see with MLMs in general, but you see that really with any business. Every business has to worry about competition. They're always worrying about, well, but what if somebody within our company tries to do something competing with us? Or what if somebody who is, and you see this in MLMs a lot, because there's always this fear, what if another leader launches a training or launches a product, a tool of some sort, and people in my downline go buy that product, and suddenly I lose my following. This eliminates that issue entirely. We said, instead of competition, let's collaborate. You have something good to teach, come into our system, go on our platform, publish that product, let people consume it, let people review it. People will actually be able to leave reviews and say this is a good product versus this is a bad product. Let us also drive the sales for you. And what this does is now, instead of a leader being afraid that somebody else is going to put out some training or is going to speak at an event or something like that and is going to get a lot more following, instead of that, they now have a true collaborative mindset, because they say, hey guys, I just saw this incredible training that's going to boost your e-commerce business. Go buy it. Because when you do, it doesn't take you away from your immediate upline. It doesn't take you away from your current structure that you've built. It basically brings the structure to them in the form of INFINii Digital. This exact same thing is what happens to our previous version of trainings, which is called DST. And DST basically is a product of INFINii Digital. It has been since the beginning. Actually, more appropriately, it has been since April of 2014, because we actually built out this massive back-end system to run this entire system on there, to run the sales on there, to provide content to the customers on there, and so on. And that happens to be our most successful product to date, having done multiple 8 figures with it. So DST actually stays as a product on INFINii Digital, and you guys will be able to have all the same access that you do right now. You can choose to be a part of that. You can choose to be a part of INFINii. They actually cover 2 slightly different marketplaces. They cover 2 very different audience, and they provide 2 different services. DST is all about very, very in-depth training. You can spend 40 hours in there on training, because it covers every single aspect in very, very deep specifics. And in many cases, people who start doing well in INFINii will want to go there and consume that training because they want to do even better. And again, when that happens, that generates BD and commissions in the system for all of our partners at the same time. So instead of, yes, go ahead, John.
Sorry, I wanted you to maybe help a lot of our traditional network marketers that are listening in, a great many of them, that are still maybe having a tough time wrapping their head around this. The reality is, the digital content categories could be as broad as one's imagination. And maybe you could just touch on that for a second when you're finished.
Sure. You could be you can make a course on how to teach your dog tricks, how to make better dog food. Okay, you could literally have a course like that. You put it out on INFINii Marketplace, in the digital marketplace, and now you have other people who are great at online marketing. Okay, you don't have to be great at it, and you don't have to wrap your mind around it. You don't have to try and understand it. You will have other people who understand YouTube PPC and how to make videos to market it and how to make websites and rank for keywords. Let those guys go do all that work for you, and they'll get a commission on every sale generated, and you get to pocket that. There are, right now on this call, there are people who have skill sets and knowledge base ranging all the way from building basically spaceships to selling better on Amazon and eBay to the best way to wash your dishes. It's incredible the range that you're going to find, from pet care to whatnot, just on this call right now. And the idea is to empower you guys to be able to put that knowledge out in the world out there, let other people consume it, let other people benefit from it, and in the process, you generate an income. And instead of us coming to you and saying, hey, here is how you make a product and how you market a product and how you build a website and blah, 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 instead, let us take care of the entire process for you. We will do the payment processing. We will get you the affiliates. We will drive the traffic. We will give you the entire login system. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Just produce your content and let other people sell it for you, and you benefit from it. This is an example of Uber. You have a driver, and you have the app, and you have the customer. The driver offers a service, and the customer basically generates an income off of that. It's just a transactional company. We are a transactional company at this point. We are connecting the publisher and the consumer together, and in the process, the affiliate is generating income. In Uber's case, affiliate is Android, the marketplace, the Google Play Store, or the App Store with Apple and so on. Those are their affiliates because they are the ones driving the traffic for them. So Uber pays them a percentage. Go ahead.
I think another thing that's noteworthy, Hitesh, is a lot of these apps like Uber, and I'm not an expert on the history of Uber, but there's a lot of great applications out there that don't necessarily get much traction initially, and companies decide to spend multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising campaigns for us to start to become aware of them. So, if you're an individual who has had an idea, you're going to have a significant advantage from our digital marketplace because it's going to be an amazing opportunity for you to get this literally in front of tens and ultimately hundreds of thousands of people to test all sorts of ideas that you might have.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I want to emphasize one more thing. For those of you who cannot wrap your mind quite around INFINii, the digital marketplace right now, and cannot quite wrap your mind around the Springboard, that's okay. You will get to see. Forget that digital marketplace exists. Forget that Springboard exists. Even without those things, you have the only company over here that is truly retail-based, that is truly beneficial for the average consumer, that is truly beneficial and is profitable for the average customer. So even without those things, you have that. We are basically trying to explain to you the vision of INFINii and how we are basically spreading out into every possible e-commerce activity that exists right now. So we exist in all of these different places, no matter what your downline is doing. Look, at a given point in time, there are people who are in your downline. They go to a doctor, they hire a plumber, they buy groceries, they consume some content online, they watch funny YouTube videos and waste time on that, and they read kind of useless Facebook self-motivating messages. They do all of these things. It's the same person doing all of these things at the same time, right? So what we are saying is, look, instead of trying to force a behavior on your downline, let them do what they're already doing. Let them go locally hire and use a service. Let them go buy something from Amazon and eBay and sell something on Amazon and eBay. Let them go produce content or let them go promote content, whatever it is. Let them do any of those things that they're already doing. Maybe they're really good at just one of those things. But if they're really good at just one of those things, it's going to generate a massive business volume for you. It's going to generate a lot more success for them. And you now get to tell somebody who joins you in this, hey, what are you good at? What interests you? Because we have this whole world of possibilities for you. You can do any of these things that you want. And the parts that you don't understand right now, you will understand over time. And even if you don't understand over time, there are still 20 other things that you can do. So don't stress it too much.
If it's okay, Hitesh, what I wouldn't also mind doing is just a little bit of a shout out to all of those traditional network marketers again, because this is our launch. We know there's an awful lot of you listening in, a lot of individuals that have very, very significant or limited network marketing experience, but that's the only home business experience that you have. Now, on a traditional launch, what you would see perhaps if we were a supplement manufacturer, as an example, we would have started by talking about our corporate team, then we would talk about the doctors that are endorsing our amazing line of products, what makes our supplements better than what you might be using right now, and we would continue to dig deeper and deeper that maybe what makes us a little bit different than everything else in our very, very specific niche. Well, that's obviously not what's happening today. And if there are some of you that this is your first exposure to the depth of what we're talking about, please don't be concerned. And I know for those of you with lots of experience, you're not. You're jumping up and down right now in celebration because you're starting to become very conscious of the fact that there is a great deal of depth to what we're doing, and with that, tremendous earning opportunity, not just from the sliver of one particular niche in a marketplace in your or local or national entity, but there are many, many earning opportunities. And Ken, I was just hoping you'd take a second to talk to that as well.
Yeah, for sure. As a matter of fact, John, one of the things I want to do is we'll schedule another Google Hangout to go over some of the comp plan issues and all that. But this, guys, I got to tell you, as Hitesh has run through this, all I know is that when I signed up to start law school, it was $108,000 to go in debt with no guaranteed job at the end. Every college course you see today costs literally thousands of dollars, books and everything. This is the biggest home run that I've ever seen, and I could not. And I'm going to stand at the top of the, literally tallest building and yell this out across the globe. We're going to build an army here because this is true e-commerce at its best, and I'm falling in love with it, guys. And I don't like online building, and yet I'm literally in love with this thing. So, John, if you don't mind, we'll jump into that at another time, though.
For sure, we can. For sure. Listen.
Actually, if I can address that really quick,
sure,
I do want to address those members, and we'll address them a little bit more here in a second. Once we talk about the BV generated through this, it'll become more in perspective. But let me address one of these things. One of the things John said was, here is what you're used to, and here is what we are doing. There's a big reason why. What you are used to, and pardon my candor, I guess, on this, but what you're used to doesn't work for the average person. Okay? That is why this is such a different presentation, because what we have is a very different model. It is very different from the typical company, because our customers' results are very different from the typical company, because the business model is very different from the typical company, and that's why it is such a different presentation. And that should be something that you should be excited about, because a part of you should say, somewhere deep inside, I know that 99% of my downline in every company has failed, and you know that's a fact. And yet here, these guys have not yet talked a single bit about downline recruitment, which you know is the single biggest cause of failure in companies. You have not yet heard a single talk about that, and yet we are talking about numbers that our customers are posting, $2 billion in sales and whatnot. And it is purely designed for the average user. Until this point, nobody's going to run away scared going, oh no, they're selling me another MLM, because this is a true business model. It's a true platform. So, as much as I respect the hustle, I've been absolutely enamored by some of the people who are offline builders, just beyond impressed by them. Just the intelligence and the drive and all those things, I'm way beyond impressed. But at the same time, I'm very excited to see them apply that towards a business model that does work for the average person. That's what we actually want to see play out here.
Sorry, Hitesh, more than that, what I'm really excited about is how they're responding to this information.
Yeah,
John, John, that's true. And one of the things I would say, Hitesh, is that myself and a lot of the other long-term leaders and trainers that are part and have been part of the network marketing space for years, we've stood on stages, whether they're as being brought in for a speaker for the event or in front of our companies, and we've always preached the 2 to 5 years. Apply this, and 2 to 5 years from now you can retire and go anywhere you want. Yet, we continue saying that, and you just don't see it happen. And matter of fact, in most MLM companies, we only see anywhere from 7 to 14% earning commission checks. So they all go there, and they're able, the information, the motivational stuff, it's all good, and people love the products. But the challenge has been to be able to look into the eyes long term and know that if they apply themselves, they're going to be successful. And at the end of the day, to be successful in a pure network marketing model, they have to be able to recruit people. They have to be able to understand and introduce and build a team. Here, for the first time in my entire history with this industry, I can look at somebody and say, you know what? If you're great at talking to people, you can build a massive team. If you're not, you're still going to be able to bring in a small team, but with our platform, that team can build a massive e-commerce business, and you can generate revenue from the rewards plan based on that, as well as the members on your team that come in that happen to be good recruiters that want to introduce this to the masses. There's never before been a model in the existence of the network marketing industry like INFINii, and that's why we're going to see what just happened in the last day and a half or two and a half days to see that numbers come in. That's why we're going to see 200,000 active members in this. This isn't one of those, blowing the horn from everywhere saying, hey, we're going to be the next billion-dollar company. The numbers are real. Look at the recruitment numbers and or being shared with a non-recruiting platform just through invitations, because this is exciting and it's real business, and there's too many people right now worried about what's happening within the network marketing company, Vima, etc., that have had FTC issues. This is where it's safe and the most profitable and real business build out there.
Yeah, and also the numbers scale, and we're sitting right at the very beginning of what is shaping up to be a truly remarkable trend. This e-commerce trend is an absolute colossus. I just wanted to share one last point to what Ken was just talking about, Hitesh, and that is, there is some psychology, some very basic human psychology behind the numbers that he was just sharing. And if you were to ask yourself and those around you, what percentage of your friends you feel are either uncomfortable or just completely disinterested at the idea of being a salesperson? Salesperson is, it's not a four-letter word, but a lot of people respond to it as though it were. It really makes a lot of people uncomfortable, and there is absolutely a direct correlation with the 85% or so of people that are either scared of or disinterested in selling things to the failure rate in a traditional network marketing model. This is not a criticism. This is 20 years of the industry. I owe my entire lifestyle and all the opportunities I've had from a traditional product company, and I absolutely love it, but I've seen failure time and time and time again, and it is because of a lot of these very basic psychological responses people have to certain situations that are absolutely not relevant in the INFINii business model.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. If you can see the screen quick, one of the things I did, and I'm going to go back to one final piece of this puzzle, which I hope some of you have paid attention when we talked about Ken's case study. Hopefully you will have that in your mind. I just want to go over this, okay? And these are people, most of the people that you're going to see in here, that are posting right now publicly on Facebook. These are people who have not done this just with recruitment. Okay, so you have somebody 100,000 plus in revenue this year, making more money than I've ever made in my entire life. 46,000. This is all Amazon sales. We just saw Ken's numbers like this. I've been in profit for 25 months straight and counting. Made 1,300 on Amazon the last 2 days. Quit my job, work full time from home. This is being posted right now in real time. So if you are one of the people that John was referring to and Ken were referring to, the person who has built a typical network marketing business offline, just go and read these comments on here and tell me if that is not a massive paradigm shift from what we're used to seeing. No company, I can almost guarantee no company would be willing to go and ask this question publicly to their entire audience, because you know what the results would look like. And we are very happy to do it. It's awesome for us to do this with you guys. All right, so let's go back to the one final piece that we need to talk about very quickly. There are other pieces in INFINii that we're not going to talk about quite yet, because we have time before those become relevant. So let's talk about one more piece at the moment, which is INFINii projects. Okay, because there's a question that you guys should have in your mind. When we said that Ken basically worked, he outsourced to professionals, to people who are good at e-commerce stuff, and he was just basically able to see this play out for himself. You should have that question in your mind. Well, who did he work with, and how do I get to work with them too, right? That's where INFINii projects come into place, which is our own freelancing platform specifically designed for e-commerce and digital marketplaces. Okay, so here's how that process goes. This is really relevant for you, especially if you're international. If you're international and you're stuck, or you don't have enough money to cash flow, or whatever it may be, you could have any restriction. Maybe you were suspended from Amazon in the past. Whatever it is, you know that you can sell, you know that you can do very well, and you want to be able to provide a service to people like Ken, okay, who are just not going to sit and watch videos, that are far more busy wrestling gators in Florida you basically want to provide that service to these guys. And what you get to do is come in here. We have an e-commerce expert certification course. We put you through that course. It's a free course. We don't charge you for it, but you have to go through that course. We have to look at some of your performance, and we then approve you, and we basically give you a stamp of approval that this person is a certified INFINii e-commerce expert. You're able to go on INFINii projects, and you're able to post and say, hey, I'm looking to provide my services to somebody else. I will list items for you. I can help the customer support side, whatever it is that your skill set is or what you're specifically focused on. You're able to go do that. And meanwhile, for those of you who just want somebody to work with, who just say, yeah, I just want to outsource this, you are able to outsource it to them. Now, here's the beauty of it. There's a question that you guys have always had, but how do I make sure my account is safe? How do I make sure that this guy that I give access to is not going to go in there and mess around and change the PayPal address to his own and take all the money and stuff like that? I mean, those are relevant concerns. So there are two ways that we deal with this. First is, and this is why INFINii Projects is so unique. First of all, we have the certification course. We kind of really verify who this person is. Okay, so that's a great start. But the other thing that happens is they never actually get to go into your account. They access the listing creation system on your account through a proxy. They're never able to actually get into your account directly. By proxy, I don't mean an IP proxy. I mean they actually log in through our system. They actually never see your account details themselves. They're never able to go in there and dink around with that. So they actually log in. They put up your listings. They're able to do customer support from that system. They don't actually have access to information. Essentially, you can outsource every single activity that you do not want to do on your eBay business or on your Amazon business and so on. You're able to outsource that to these guys who are certified, who have done this before, and we have ratings of some of these showing you who are the really, really good guys and who are not necessarily people with track record, and they're just starting out. And obviously, you can work out and negotiate your own prices with them on how much you're willing to pay for it. In some cases, you can say, hey, I'll pay you 20% of the sales generated, and that money will move directly into the freelancer's account. You don't have to manage it. You don't have to deal with it. We take care of that for you as well. It's a really revolutionary concept when it comes to freelancing and management of freelancing with sensitive information like your eBay account, your Amazon details, and so on and so forth. Another beautiful thing about this whole process is when you have people doing this with each other, it starts expanding the pie. And once again, every single time there's an exchange of money between people for a service, in this case it's a digital service, we have a little fee that we collect, just like every other platform does, right? Amazon charges nearly 20% in fees on certain products. eBay charges about 13-14% after you count in the PayPal fees and whatnot. They themselves charge 9% to 10%. There are all these different fees that platforms charge. We charge a very, very reasonable 5% fee. This 5%, once again, in this particular case, converts into BV, converts into business volume for all of you. So once again, we're bringing one more massive piece of the economy, which is digital freelancing, and joining that into the entire system as a whole. And you are able to now run with that. You can outsource things. You can choose to not outsource if you don't want to. You can choose to become a freelancer and help other people. Another beautiful thing that's going to happen with INFINii projects is we are going to be able to set up local workshops. We're going to be doing some local workshops for people, like having people come to our warehouse, go on a shopping trip, and when they come and do that, and they pay for that, that again converts into BB. So we'll have a system where people are able to come to our warehousing, they get to go to local stores, they go on these paid shopping trips, kind of what Ken, John, you both saw at the event, what we did, but on a smaller scale in local places, and all of you can do that for yourself. So if you are somebody who's really good and has really figured out how to sell, how to go on paid shopping trips yourself, you can actually organize a trip, publish it in INFINii projects or INFINii Digital, and many other, we give you multiple avenues for it. You publish that, people can actually pay you for your help in training them for this. They'll come over to your location, you can go shopping together, and that generates income for you, and that generates BB for the entire company. So other leaders, let's say a leader in India who has a team in US, is going to very happily tell his downline, hey guys, if you are in Southern California, go to this one location where they're doing a paid shopping trip, here's what it costs, and now he's happy to do it because he's generating business volume, his downline is generating business volume, and it's beneficial for everybody. So that's essentially
At what?
Give me 1 second. There we go. So essentially now you're able to participate in one more massive piece of the world as it is today, which is freelancing, and start generating income with that as well. So you have INFINii projects, you have INFINii Digital, you have the marketplace where you're able to purchase physical products, and you have INFINii Commerce where you receive the training, you receive the tools, you receive the knowledge, you receive the community to actually start building out this massive business for yourself. So you have so many different things to participate in, so many different pieces. We have hopefully given you very good timelines on all of these things, so you can understand that you're not going to log in tomorrow and have all of the stuff. This is what we are rolling out. Most of you will take that long just going through the training anyway. And we are in a very critical point right now. This is a very, very critical time for you to be actively trying to generate as many sales as you can, because it is the holiday shopping time, it's the Christmas season, and so on. So that's what we want to focus on. Now let's talk about you guys actually getting in here, okay, which is the final piece of this. And then we will focus entirely on Q&A. We will talk about the affiliate side a little bit. Do any of you guys have any other feedback before we launch into the specific timeline of now what we're going to do with opening up the card and you guys getting in there and starting to go through the training and so on?
Yeah, I want to cover real quick Excel. Just real quick, go through that. We're getting a little long on the Hangout, so we need to wrap this up. But I want to make sure we get onto Excel so they know what is the difference between Surge and Excel.
Okay.
Sorry,
all right, so go ahead,
You
John.
did break that down in the first section of the presentation, Hitesh. Maybe there's something specific they're asking, because in general, you did break down the.
Yeah, I already did go over that. If you can ask a specific question.
I'll make sure everyone's clear on that. We're good. We can move on. I just want to make sure.
Okay. It was during those 6 minutes when you fell asleep standing up.
Okay. Yes, that happens from time to time.
Narcolepsy, guys. Can't help it. INFINii Medical. That's what we'll deal with that one. So let's talk very quickly about a specific timeline on what's going to happen now with opening the card. So one thing that we need to make absolutely crystal clear, because we get these requests and people are like, hey, can you move this guy in my downline from the left position to the right position in the binary and so on and so forth? And the answer is no, we cannot. Okay, and the binary structure is designed for you to actually be. I mean, it's like a fun system that benefits you without having to put in a lot of hard work. There's a lot of spillover. There's a lot of other things in there. So no, you can't actually move people, and that's very, very important for you to understand. Now, for some of you, you might have had some errors in the system from the very beginning. When the first 4,000 people came in, as you might remember, we shut down the system for a while to sort through that. If you had any errors, or if you see anything that is concerning you at the moment, we want to give you guys just tonight to bring that to our attention, because when we open the card and people actually start purchasing this, there will be no possible movement, no possible error fixing or things like that. So we want to make that absolutely crystal clear. You cannot move people around. You cannot come to us and say, hey, I put this guy on the left, but it looks like he's really going to build out. Can we move him to my right or something like that? No, you cannot. That's not thinking about this like a business. Remember when I went on a kind of a annoying rant and my Indian accent really came out and I was talking about having the right mindset and making this a business thing? That's really what this is about. Okay, treat this like a real business. This is not a little game where we're going to move people around and stuff like that. So if you see an error, you see something wrong in there, for the most part, I believe you're already aware of it, but bring that to our attention. We're going to basically give you guys one evening to go through that. You understand the whole system at this point. We've gone through in great depth all of the different pieces of INFINii. The idea being that you have a very good understanding of what it is. Go through tonight, looking at your binary structure, make sure everything looks correct. There are no errors. If you see something that does not look right, something that looks strange, bring it to our attention, and we will take care of it if it is an actual error. Okay? We are talking about an actual problem. We're not talking about moving people around because we can't. We literally cannot do that. That is neither ethical, nor legal, nor safe, nor from the coding perspective, not something fun to do anyway. So overall, if you see an error, bring it to our attention. You guys have one night to do so, and we will basically try and take care of that. And then we will open up the card. We'll show you guys the pages where you can go and get everything from. We're going to walk you through the entire affiliate sales funnel that we have in place for you, how that works out for you as a partner. We're going to show you all the different methods of promotion and so on, and you can basically jump in on that. So is that piece absolutely clear? You have one night to just check your downline structures. Let us know. We're going to actually give you, Kevin is going to put up the support desk link for you guys, so you can actually go to the support desk. You can bring that to our attention, and we can take care of that for you very quickly. If your passwords are not working, or you're not able to get into your account, or your username is messed up or something like that, whatever it might be, you can bring that to our attention. Once people start paying, it's a totally different ballgame. And we have been very careful to not accept any money. Once again, actually, for those of you who have built offline before, I hope this actually shows you guys something strong. Every company's build that I have seen has an emphasis on getting people in the door quickly, getting them to pay quickly, paying our commissions quickly, because that's what gets people excited, that's what gets going. We are very much about a long-term real company that is being built out. So we've been very cautious about not accepting any money until people understood what they were paying for, until people understood this is what I'm getting access to, this is how I'm going to use it, and this is how I'm going to build a business off of that. So hopefully those things are very clear. We're going to go over some of the questions related to the customer platform. And I would really like to pass this over to John. I'd like to pass it on to you guys. Go over some of the compensation side things relatively quickly, and then we're going to do another hangout. We're going to go over that in great detail like we went over the customer side today. And Kev has something to say.
Kev does have something to say real quick. What will happen is on the homepage, if you go to infinii.com, in the next 30 minutes, you're going to see a little support button on there. You can go ahead. It'll say click here to open a support ticket or contact support. Also, if you hit the Facebook fan page, if you're on that now, if you have a very specific issue, please be very clear with any kind of issues that you have, and we'll get that taken care of. But we'll have a support link on the actual homepage, infinii.com. You can go there. There'll be a little button. You can contact support. You can also send us a quick, drop us a line on the Facebook fan page, just send a message to it, and we'll see it there as well. But I just want to make sure you guys know that that button will be available in about 30 minutes. As soon as this webinar, as soon as this hangout ends, we'll get that up there.
Outstanding. Hey, I think the biggest point, Hitesh, right now is that as people are watching this, we've gone ahead in the structure of the rewards plan, and it's a 1-to-1 BV point to dollar ratio. So 5 BV equals $5. I mean, there isn't any of the games that you sometimes see played with BV and so many things where in the average network marketing company, they'll deduct the COGS or cost of goods first, and the person's lucky, even if the company says that, hey, we pay 50% of the BV to the field, what the field doesn't realize is they're first deducting the COGS, which the company has complete control over what they say. So let's say they say it's a 25-cent COG. Well, then guess what's being split? 50% of the remainder of that, or what averages out to be about 38 cents on the dollar actually going into the field. With this rewards plan, there's a full 1-to-1 point to dollar ratio. That's the first issue, which is critically important for everybody to understand. The second is that 70% of all global BV generated is going into the rewards plan. So corporate is only taking 30%. And again, that says a lot about the owners of the company, because they're not sitting there taking a whole bunch from the field, literally just 30%. You can imagine all the operating overhead with warehouses and all the other things that are set up here. So you've got yourself a home run with this. And we're going to go into great detail in a separate Google Hangout on the rewards plan. We'll take questions and everything else. But with that, John, I'll hand it over to you.
Well, there's not much that I want to say other than that we will go through in micro detail, step by step, the intricacies to this rewards plan. It's not as complex as some of you might think. There is, Hitesh alluded to this type of thing earlier. There may be a tendency to complicate the rewards plan because there's so much money rolling through the rewards plan. But there's basically two big pieces. There is a very strong dual team offering that pays obviously to unlimited depth with caps that apply per rank, and there's a very strong unilevel component that pays to unlimited depth, which none of you are used to hearing because it is not something that is common. but with caps in place, pays to unlimited depth is there as well. And that's essentially it. Where a lot of you are getting confused is you're asking us questions like how much of the business volume is being allocated to the dual team versus being allocated to the unilevel. The reality is all of it is going into both aspects of this rewards plan. And the way that we're able to do that, of course, is we do have a full 70% payout. So unlike some unilevel binary or unilevel dual team combinations you've seen before, where maybe the enrollment fee is going into the dual team and the repeat volume or the activity or auto ship, if it was a product-based company, is going into the unilevel, that's not happening here. All of the BV is going into, from registration and all the other e-commerce, marketplace, etc. activities are going into both the unilevel and the dual team, which creates an absolutely incredible opportunity for you. And for those of you who have been asking a lot, in fact, maybe Hitesh, you might want to touch on this for 30 seconds. This has been pressure tested. We aren't flying blind. This isn't our first rodeo. Your compensation plan is not going to break 90 days from now.
Yeah, so but I don't know how else to say this except we have pressure tested it and it works. It's hard for me to really quantify it more than that, but the problem with saying that is that every company says that. I mean, what company says, hey guys, we haven't really tested anything and it's all going to break apart a couple of months from now. So we have tested this, but here is the beautiful thing that we do have going for us.
That it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, but I'm going to go at a different angle, okay? Because we are doing something unprecedented. Okay, there is no company that has this level of integration. There is no company has this comp plan. This is a very unique comp plan. We came up with it specifically for this, and there is no company out there that actually is hopefully going to see the type of growth that we are with a true customer base, right? I mean, it's one thing to put people in, but when you have a bunch of customers who are making 1,000 sales on eBay a month, you're basically dealing with 1 to 2 million transactions happening every single month. That's a very, very different type of server atmosphere. There's a very different type of coding atmosphere to that. It's not the same as a typical MLM structure. So here is what I will say that we have going for us. And hopefully it also shows you the caution that we have as a company, the caution I have as a person, because that's one of the things that I do. We play with the stereotypes. So we have me as the lead coder as well. So I'm the CTO at the same time. So, it's very fitting. We have Ken as a compliance guy. You can kind of see with the equipment in the background, he's in shape, ready to go after people. And we have Kevin as our, I don't know what he is, honestly. There are so many things that come to my mind, but I don't know if they're safe to say.
It's hard to quantify this greatness that is me.
So, yes, he's the Kevin, and that's all we say. He's the K-Dog. Anyways. Here's what I can say as a relatively cautious person. If things break down, if there is an issue, we are not dependent on a third-party company that we pay some money to, and we are at their mercy to fix it or not fix it or release it or not release it, and their coders are on a break or whatever. If we have a problem, we sit down and we fix it ourselves. When we had the problem with the binary viewer during the pre-launch, it was a system that was very well tested, but live structures are very different from tests because you have different peaks, you have different things that happen. And anybody on here who has worked in the IT atmosphere at all knows that. There is a difference between pressure testing things versus what happens in reality. A user makes 2 mistakes and now suddenly things are going haywire. What do you do then? So in our case, when we had the problem with the binary viewer, we sat down and in 4 days we rebuilt the whole thing with a completely different methodology, and now we have it out there, and it supported 4 users per second signing up at its peak without any problems at all. It worked very, very smoothly. So, sure, I would love to say we'll never have a problem, guys, but Google goes down, Facebook goes down, Amazon goes down. Every company has problems at some point. Our benefit is that we have our developers in-house, we have people in-house who actually know how to do this. We usually don't take a break. If I try to take a break, then all these other people on this call yell at me and tell me, India needs to get back to coding, so I have to code. But we basically make sure that we fix it as quickly as possible. We have gone through some very, very, very testing periods as we have grown over the past 2 years, and we have had times where things have gone down, but we have never not been able to recover from it because we know what we are doing. So hopefully that's a more honest answer, and it's longer than 30 seconds. seconds. But I hope that that actually addresses the core issue here instead of just giving it lip service and pretending like things never go wrong.
I certainly was not intending to throw you under the bus there, buddy. That wasn't the intention. I think everyone knows how much time and attention has gone into the micro details of this.
Yeah.
The thing that's really important for all of you to understand is that both Ken and I are going to walk through a very, very detailed presentation for you, not only in a Hangout, but also recording for you so you can go back and review it multiple times regarding the real subtleties of the rewards plan. But more than that, we're also going to provide for you a very simple 3-step building process or building strategy. A lot of you have been asking for a building strategy. The other thing I'm getting a lot of requests for, because this is a new animal for many of you, every time I talk to my friend, they have a confused look on their face. I don't know what to say to my friends. So if that's the situation you're sitting in right now where you're excited, but when you go articulate this to the people that matter to you, you find yourself scratching your head, please don't worry. It's really just a matter of becoming comfortable with this, just like you've become comfortable with everything else you've accomplished in your life so far. We will have very detailed strategy in place for you, but in addition to that, presentations, short 30-minute promotional videos. In addition to that as well, I'll also have some scripting put in place for you that if you follow those things word for word, I'll lay out a system for you that, mark my words, regardless of who you are, how much experience you have, if you work that system, it's going to work for you.
Absolutely, John. That's very true. So let me run through. Should we just quickly go over some of the questions? I want to address these questions very quickly. And here's an example of the type of questions that are not helpful. There's a question saying, "I'm having problems with my account. Help." We have no idea what the situation is. So you would have to be more specific. We're going to put up the support link on our homepage. Please go through there and give us details. And we have a very wonderful team on staff that will help take care of all of these things. And we will be moving to live chat support and phone calls as well. So you can actually call in and we'll have things taken care of for you. Let me address some of the things in here. So one of the questions, and one of the joys of doing Hangouts like this is that we really like to take the tough questions and address the tough questions, because most companies don't do that, and sometimes they don't even get that. So I want to address this one question head on. This question is by Salvador, and his question is, why does it feel like you're pushing us away from the idea that we're able to generate a great income from springboards? Like 100 to 200% profit margin. Now I'm hearing 20 to 30%, up to 100. Then you add in all the fees, so on and so forth. Why does it look like you're basically moving us away from that? The reason why we're identifying that so much is it is true that there are going to be products in the springboard that are going to have 100 to 200% profit margins. What we see happening is there are, again, we are a real business, but a lot of the promoters are not necessarily real businesses. They're people who have only built companies and businesses where it's all about how do I attract somebody to get in here without giving them the real picture of what it is. It's a real business, right? So a lot of people would like to think in their minds that, oh, I just get in here and I just click a couple buttons and I'm going to sit back and make a bunch of money. And that's simply not true in life, ever. So we're not pushing you away from that mindset. We're not pushing you away from the way Springboard works. It works the same way that we said in the beginning, but we are trying to give you a lot more realistic understanding of it. It's still designed to get you guys to break even or profit very, very quickly, right away, if possible. But it's still dependent on real world. It's still dependent on real retail and so on. So I feel like it's a lot better for us to set the right expectations and hopefully exceed them, instead of setting up expectations that everybody's coming in here thinking, I'm going to sit here and push a couple of buttons and make 200% returns every month. That's just ridiculous. That is just honestly ridiculous. And if you thought that was what we were going to be offering as a company all the time, then that would be a problem. Again, it is true that we will have products that will have 100 to 400% profit margins in some cases. We do have products like that, but it is not going to be something that we want to focus on all the time. You can do really well with it, but you can do a lot more than that just by doing this yourself. And it's nearly as simple to do it yourself. It is nearly as easy. And the idea with the Springboard is really more designed for people for their first 90 days to very quickly get in, so they can ramp up slowly without having to be stressed about where am I going to get my money from, how am I going to get into this process, how do I understand this process. So I don't know of anybody who would want to give more honest answers than that. I think most companies would love to continue the hype right now, and I could very easily do that because I do have some numbers that back that up. But I don't think that sets the right type of behavior. I don't think that sets the right type of mindset, and I don't think it's healthy for you to be expecting that from somebody else all the time either. I think that's what leads to very dangerous behaviors that eventually the government has to step in for, and we just don't want that. We just don't believe in that at all. So hopefully that addresses it, and everybody understands that this is what the business model is. We have no reason to try and push towards that direction because we don't need to. When you have 70 to 80% of your customers making money, you don't need to throw in an additional attractive ideas unless they actually work. So today we basically show you examples of things that actually work and in the way that they actually work. So I hope that addresses everything.
Hitesh, on that note, since you brought that up real quick, just let me step in with a compliance hat on real quick. Quick reminder, since we got so many people, thousands of people on this call, guys, do not use INFINii in any of your URLs, please. That's something that you don't want us to have to track you down when you're doing that online. And in addition to that, Hitesh, as you know, you've worked with some of the top attorneys, to make sure that everything is tied down with the FTC, which is why you're seeing us and Hitesh organize the Springboard as it is. You want this to be absolutely the best possible product out there, and the time has been taken to ensure all of that with Kevin Thompson and a number of other attorneys, as well as the hard work that the corporate team has done.
Indeed. We know what we have here, and we are certainly going to make sure it stays protected for the good of everybody involved. And it's important that everyone, again, if you've seen the new deck, you'll see this. The last thing Hitesh said was Springboard is meant to springboard or jumpstart your business for the next 3 months. It's not meant to be an autopilot, kick your feet back, and that's what it was designed for. And we'll certainly make sure that information continues to get disseminated to the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick, so I've been getting a lot of questions. People asking me, how do I market this? How do I get started? How do I get moving? And everyone's looking for the online stuff, right? The sales funnel, the lead generation, stuff like that. That stuff, will be available. I'll be putting out some capture pages and sales funnels and all that kind of stuff for people who are doing this online as well. But you need to realize, everybody, that whenever you're talking about a home business opportunity or a good idea that's worth sharing, the first thing that you do before you go out there and start marketing online is you pick up the phone. Everyone on this call, if they were to go join a network marketing company and go build it out, the first thing that they would do, and the first thing that every network marketer out there would do as well, is pick up the phone and they would call their warm market. Do not be afraid to pick up the phone and call your warm market. If you have the idea of just doing this 100% online and stuff like that, that stuff will come and we'll teach you guys how to do that stuff. But pick up the phone and share this idea before somebody else shares it with them. Get the word out to your warm market, to those contacts that you already have, the people that you have relationships with, because that's truly what this industry is all about. Even the online side, it's all about relationship building. Even if you're marketing online, you're still building relationships with your list. So make sure you guys are doing that. Don't just think you're going to post a link on Facebook and make $1 million from the comp plan. Get out there and make some phone calls. Pick up the phone. And once John and Ken put out training on offline marketing in here and how to talk to folks and do three-way calls and things of that nature, perk up, listen, and grow with them, because they're going to teach you some phenomenal things about that. There's so much to be learned, and there's so many leaders that are in here that I've seen that have popped up teams like overnight, and they didn't do it with a big list. They did it by contacting someone who contacted someone and so on and so forth. So get out there and build. Get out there and build that way as well. Please don't put the blinders on and go, just going to post on Facebook and your YouTube video. Pick up the phone, because someone else is going to do that. Someone else is going to talk to that person as well. I want to see some big people grow some very sizable incomes with the compensation plan as well. I mean, we spent the last 2 years ensuring that those of you who are building large teams, that the people that you enroll into this will have a way to make money even if they cannot sponsor. That's there. That's a given. We've been doing that for 2 years. So for those of you who are going to enroll people that don't have a track record of being able to enroll people, That's okay. Let them get on the products, let them build that way, and the story will come, and then they'll be able to build that way. But online marketers, guys, learn from a lot of the folks, and we often say online, offline marketers, and I use that term too, but man, phenomenal people that we have in here that are leaders that you're going to be hearing about very, very soon that are growing this out and that we are just honored to work with. And some of the ways that they grow their home-based business is starting by picking up the phone. So do the same, follow their lead, okay? I just want to toss that out there and kind of set that tone because, you know, I probably have 100 messages in my Facebook inbox, and if I haven't answered you about online marketing and online builds, that's why, because I want you to pick up the phone. I want you to get moving that way, okay? So that stuff will come. We'll talk about that when it's relevant, but that's all I got. I think we're good for now, unless you guys got something.
Yeah, and hey, if I can just clarify, I think we've covered almost all of the questions. Overall, I think a lot of the questions left are really tied to the affiliate side of things and how the partners system works, how the compensation structure works. And that's really more for John and Ken are going to cover that in very great detail with you guys. You know, we'll probably be on there as well. We'll do a very detailed webinar hangout with you guys covering all of that. We can't do webinars anymore because webinars have a 1,000 people limit, and we fill that up literally an hour before we begin. We have over 1,000 people on there, so we can't do those anymore. We're going to be using Hangouts quite a bit, and that's why we have to interact a lot more on Facebook. But we're going to cover a lot of the other things over in the next Hangout. We're going to cover everything related to the affiliate side and the affiliate compensation plan. We're going to open the card up tomorrow once we have a complete final cleanse of everything, and we know for a fact that there are no problems in here. Any of you who are seeing issues right now, we have received messages from people saying, hey, please don't open the card until you have taken a look at this issue because I see a problem. We're going to look over all of that. We're going to make sure that everything looks good, that everything is working right, and we'll open up the card. Let me also very quickly go over the pay periods. Pay periods run from every Friday midnight to the next Friday midnight. So our first pay period is obviously when we open the card, it's going to end on the 4th of December. That's our first Friday that's coming up. And it's going to go to the next Friday. So it's going to go from the 4th to the 11th. And on the 18th, it's going to collect all of that. It's going to pay out on the previous week. Okay, so we pay out every week on the previous week. So the week of 4th through 11th will be paid on the 18th. Okay, so you'll see that in your back office is under pending balance, under approved balance, and you'll be able to cash that out with GPG to your bank accounts and all that stuff. You've used the company for a very long time. It works very well. Great customer service as well. So if you have any questions about that, hopefully that clarifies it. And do you guys have anything to add before we kind of wind down? If you have any other questions that stuck out to you guys that we need to cover, we can go over that.
I'd just like to
go from there.
Yeah, I'd just like to quickly acknowledge, Hitesh. I know that as far as I know, everyone was getting on this with the expectation of us starting to take money the moment this presentation was over. So there has been a very recent development with a few genealogical changes that we said we're going to allow. Is that a 24-hour period we're going to allow that, or 20 hours, or do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's going to be 24 hours. We're basically aiming for tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern that we are planning on opening this up, the card actually opening up the card tomorrow. And that is, of course, the maximum time we expect. We actually think we'll be done with all of these remaining genealogy fixes. We are aware of, I think, everything that's been brought to our attention so far. We don't expect that it's going to take us that long, but we just want to make sure that everybody has the right view, that you don't see any errors, and everybody understands that this is your last chance to point out if there is something that is odd with your binary structure. We'll take care of it, we will look over it, and fix it for you. But once we open the card and we have live users coming in, we cannot make any more changes at that point. So we just want to make sure that that's very clear to you guys.
Okay, so for this 24 hours, everyone will be able to log in and see their genealogy to check?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. You should be able to log in right now and check, and then just let us know if you see something wrong.
So listen, everybody, then you just simply need to make sure that you're happy with what your genealogy looks right now, and what will happen for that 24 hours that you're down, that you were not expected to be down. You'll have the information from Ken and I to start to review and study and just do a little bit of homework for this next 24 hours in getting ready to start building your business 24 hours from now, one of the things that I'd like you to especially focus on is hitting that director bonus in your first 90 days. And you will receive some very specific instructions from us on how to lay out a very simple 1, 2, 3-step process to ensure that you hit that volume of director rank in your first 90 days. I can't think of an easier way for you to drive your business to ambassador than for you to be able to share with your friends a month after starting your INFINii business, you earn a $20,000 US bonus. So we'll make sure that you're well equipped to take those steps moving forward.
Yeah, and absolutely, everything revolves around the first 90 days in INFINii. It really revolves around your first 90 days. That's going to set the tone for the business you build. It's going to set the tone for how you grow on the partner side as well. You have the beginner bonus pool, you have the first 90 days to hit the big director bonus. At the same time, you have the first 90 days to ramp up your e-commerce businesses, your eBay and Amazon and so on, and you have the springboards to help you through that entire process as well. So hopefully everything is super clear. I think we covered everything in a lot of detail because there were a lot of questions about, hey, what does Prime include, what does Search include, what is Excel, what would be suitable for me, questions about how does the springboard work, questions about the binary view, and so on. Hopefully, we have addressed everything. I think we have, based on what I'm seeing on Facebook right now. And the remaining questions that are related just to the affiliate compensation plan, we're going to have a separate Hangout for that. We're going to go over all of that in a lot of detail. And hopefully, you guys will understand why this is such a unique structure overall in many, many different ways. So,
sorry, before you wrap up, may I share one more thing?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so now this is just a simple state of mind. What's the best way of putting it? I simply want to encourage everyone that's listening. When I started getting involved in network marketing, I was quite young. I was in my mid-20s, and I was involved in the health and wellness industry, like many people. And the attitude that I had was that I was going to build a business. I was a retail business owner, and I focused simply on building a business, and where I chose to excel was sort of that psychology of building. So if I said this, I was going to create this result. If I said that, I was going to create that result, and I had my eyes wide open as to how to make invitations and how to add people into my business, but more importantly, how to get them duplicating those actions. What I was not was a very good product of the product. And that's not a good thing. I had a very, very good product I was representing, and I knew very little about it. There is, we very deliberately have not mentioned the vast majority of what INFINii will be at the end of 2016, because already what we're bringing to you is immense. But the more that you focus on starting your business the right way, being a product of the product, being proactive with e-commerce, understanding what we're giving you now, the easier time that you're going to have when we unleash everything that's going to be available to you by the end of next year. We didn't talk about Marketplace. Marketplace is going to be a huge part of your business. We do not want you to feel overwhelmed 6 months from now because all you focused on was building a dual team business. So get into the videos, learn how to understand this stuff so that when everything else is unveiled, you're not overwhelmed and people can't look to you for advice because you never took the time right now while you have the time to figure this stuff out.
That is excellent advice. That is absolutely excellent advice. And once again, build this like a business, treat it like a business. The questions that come from the perspective of how much easier can this be for me are really missing the point, because this is the easiest thing to do right now that exists. It's already the easiest thing that exists. So you really need to stop worrying so much about how can we make it easier. In terms of how do I share it with others, hopefully you got a lot of different angles. One of the things that I would really encourage for you guys is don't try to share all of what INFINii is, because it is vast. Okay, it's a massive business. When you go to talk to somebody about Amazon, you don't start with, well, they're launching some rockets right now. They're trying to do vertical landing with return rockets from space. That's not what you talk about, right? You summarize the strongest and the most relevant aspect of it for the average customer, which is, hey, it's a place you can get really cheap stuff. They're really fast shipping. That's kind of what you say about Amazon. So that's what you want to do with INFINii. Choose one or two or three things based on your audience of what is going to be very appealing to them. Hey, what's INFINii? It's a platform for you to build a massive e-commerce business. Their members have done $2 billion in sales already. Hey, what's INFINii? You're talking to an MLM audience. It's a company that pays out 70%, has 1:1 ratio, the strongest comp plan ever. You really need to take a look. End of story. If you have somebody who's coming in from the perspective of I want to sell things that are digital, I'm a JVZoo affiliate marketer or something like that, you tell them, hey, there's the marketplace, it has the lowest fees, has massive reach, and it completely automates everything for you, from payment processing to everything else. Your job is done. Think of who your audience is, summarize the simplest point of it, and then let them ask questions and answer the questions, and you'll be done. We don't expect anybody to do a 3-hour-long hangout to try and explain to the average member what INFINii is all about. And like John said, vast majority has yet not been shared because we are still in very early stages of development with some of that, and we would like to finish that out, we would like to test it out, and then we will mention to you some of the stuff that we've been building in the background and what's happening with that. So hopefully you guys have a lot more knowledge than you did before this. You have a lot more understanding of everything that's a part of INFINii. You have met John and Ken, and you know who to go to for the right questions to be answered. You know what to do here. Go ahead, John.
I said Ken.
Yeah, who to get for all the questions. If you have any question about selling on Amazon, Ken is the guy. He's the one making the money right now. If you have reason to reach support, you're going to see the support link on infinii.com right after this Hangout is finished. You will see that link visible to you within 30 minutes. You go there, let us know of any issues that you may be seeing, anything that you need clarification on, let us know there. If you understand all of this, then you understand where we are headed. You understand a very deliberate, cautious build-out, which is still the fastest build-out that I think we have seen of pretty much any company out there. So just understand where we stand. We stand as very cautious business owners who are building out an enterprise-level platform. Our idea is to develop something that competes with the multi-billion-dollar companies out there in their own ecosystems. And we have some very unique takes that we believe put us in, give us some specific advantages over these other places. And we obviously incentivize our members more than anybody else to see that growth happen. So that's what we are all about. That's what we're heading into. Hopefully everybody got a better understanding of what's in INFINii tonight. And when we do the next Hangout, which will be very soon, in less than 24 hours hopefully, we cover everything related to the compensation plan, and we will actually show you the back office itself. We will walk you through the back office. We will show you how to access all your videos, show you how to access the PDFs, show you the forums and so on and so forth. And you can actually prep yourself and psych yourself up to go in there, spend 2 hours dedicated, go through all the videos, and start building your business. So from me, that's pretty much all that I think we had to cover tonight. I think we have covered everything that was on the curriculum. We've answered some of the questions. And I'm super excited. Even though I don't look like it, this is what you look like after 4 days with limited sleep, 5 days now. So I'm very excited about it. I'm really, really excited to see how this thing plays out, because there's so many interesting dynamics at play here that have just never ever been done before. And we are pumped. We know how well our users are doing. We know how well they are going to be doing. We know that we are making costs less for them. We are giving them a lot more services for lower costs. And we know that we're incentivizing them way more than we were able to in the past. So we are very excited from all the angles. We are excited to meet our customers and see how well they're doing, and just watch this grow and blow out over the next couple months and couple of years and so on. So you guys have the floor. Any not last words, but any final words for the Hangout itself?
Yeah, real quick, can you go over one thing, Tash? Go over one thing that's going to be important. I mean, I can't believe how many people are still here after 2.5 hours in. So you guys are awesome for being here. Real quick, Tash, go over, because right now they're accustomed to the invitation process. They click in the back office, they send out an invite, that person accepts, they get locked into the genealogy. Got it. Come tomorrow, and from here on out, how do they get people in? So I want to make sure everybody understands.
So first of all, the place where you currently see the send invite button, when you click on your binary position and you see sign up, send an invite, it's going to be replaced with sign up a user. You will literally click on that and you actually will be able to fill in all of their details, and they will have to sign up as a member, as a customer at that very moment. Because if they do not, the free period is over. The free pre-launch period is over. So the next time around when you log in there and you click on send invite, it's not going to send an invite. It's going to actually pop up a little thing where you will register the new user, you will get the payment details in there, and you will actually get them as a member. Okay, it's a lot stronger validation than what we did in the free pre-launch, even though we still had a level of validation there. But it's a lot more validated. It's much more geared towards putting real people in who actually want to be in here instead of just inviting anybody. And going forward, that's how it's going to be. At the same time, you will also have your traditional affiliate links or replicated website link, whatever you want to call it. You will have those traditional links available to you as well. You will be able to send people to that link. They can watch a presentation, they can sign up from there, and then they will be placed in your binary structure based on your settings. We will discuss a lot of this. We will walk you through all of this. And for those of you who have never built and never participated in a rewards plan that is based around business volume, I think you'll be really blown away with what happens when you combine that offline traditional structure with this online build structure and that on top of that is fused with customer retail volume, and you get BB based on that. It's a very interesting thing that happens where you now will be able to build massive incomes off of 2 or 3 people teams building together, working together, and hopefully it'll be very exciting. I know John's experience has been referring 15 or 20 people and building a multi-million-dollar business out of that. I know Ken's experience has been very much the same way. Kevin and my experience has been on the other extreme. We are online guys, and we are used to driving 1,000 to 2,000 sales. So we have very, very different skill sets that we bring to the table. We are very excited about merging this together and seeing how this breaks out. So you have online presentations that primarily Kevin is in charge of, that you're going to see that convert extremely well, that are optimized for online campaigns. And you're going to see offline presentations presented at the same time that are going to convert really well and are really designed to present this to the very, very, very massive offline audience out there who needs a system like this. So I hope that clarifies the question. Kevin, do you need me to go over anything else? Or is that
No, that's great. I just want to get that out there so people know what to expect. I know all the leaders are still on here. I can see the numbers that are still here. So you guys are awesome. Thanks for staying through the whole thing. There's so many people on this call, and actually the number's gone up as we went through. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's an honor working with all you guys, and a lot of you new leaders that I'm been introduced to over the last couple of months, and that have been coming into the INFINii family. We welcome you with open arms. We're looking forward to working with you guys. We're looking forward to blow this thing up. There's so many talented people in INFINii right now. That it's ridiculous, and we are in a position right now, as a company, as a team, as a family, to take this industry over in a way that you see once in a lifetime, and that's where I believe that this is going. And with everyone that's watching this, you guys, you're going to get to be a part of that. You get to build that. You get to be the foundation of that, and it's amazing. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for you guys being here. That's it. I'm done. I'm ready. I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to rock this thing out. So.
Yeah. So here is everybody's homework. Here's what you're supposed to do tonight. When we get off this Hangout, here are the steps you're going to take. You will go in your back office. You will check your binary structure. Let us know if you see any errors, anything that looks weird, anything odd. Let us know about it on the support page. That will be on the infinii.com homepage. Okay. Just go there. There'll be a support link. Go to the support page. Let us know what you are seeing that is a problem. Ideally, include a screenshot or be specific about it. Please do not send a vague message like, I see something that doesn't make sense, and I think you should take a look at it. That will not help us. That will not help you. So make sure that you give us more details than that, be more specific. Immediately after that, you will want to, if you didn't understand all the bits and pieces, right after, as we close this Hangout's replay will be available on YouTube immediately on the same page that you are watching this right now. If you have any questions, if something was not clear to you, for example, I'm not really sure what Excel includes, you can immediately rewind and go back and watch that particular part in here. Anybody who has questions about it, again, send that to the support desk and we will get you taken care of. Meanwhile, take a look at the presentations we have right now. We already have a lot of this content, a lot of this information is written out and it is made available in form of PDFs and made available in form of PowerPoint presentations. You can take a look at those and maybe come into the Hangout tomorrow with some of your questions already about the binary compensation plan, how does the compensation plan really pay out, so we can address those very quickly for you. And one really big thing that you should be doing, and I hope that all of you who try and do that tonight, is sit down and write out a game plan. So we're actually going to provide you with a game plan as well, but we are so close for you guys to get in here and actually start using this. You need to sit down and write out a game plan. Make a set of goals. My goal in the first 90 days is to hit this many sales in Amazon, in eBay, in whatever, and here's what I want to do on my affiliate side as a partner. Here are the people that I'm going to work with when we begin this. You need to do all of that so you're ready and you're just good to go when we make this live tomorrow. That's all you want to be doing then. You have to have a game plan. Don't get in here tomorrow and then wonder what am I going to do. Make a list right now and say, in my head, I'm going to watch the Amazon training first because I like shopping, so I'll go do the paid shopping thing. Or I'm going to watch eBay first, or I'm an international guy, so I'm going to ignore Amazon right now. I'm going to focus on Bonanza and Shopify and WooCommerce or whatever. That's what you want to do. You need to have a game plan ready to go when you get in here tomorrow. So that's what I think your homework should be, what you should be doing right after you get off this Hangout. Get some rest. It's been a fairly long webinar. We'll be here and available for all the leaders and everybody who has questions or has issues. We'll be here. We'll help you guys through the night, and we will see you tomorrow in the affiliate compensation plan video. Hopefully you guys in the Hangout, hopefully you have questions about it. You've gone over things, and we hope that the compensation plan will blow your mind just as much as all of these revelations about what INFINii is and how it functions will also be made available to you. So from all of us, it's we bid you adieu. It's a good night and enjoy yourself, but just go in there, get this game plan in place, and we are really looking forward to seeing you psyched up and excited tomorrow, and just take this to the next level.
Same time tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern for the Hangout?
Yeah, let's do the same time so everybody knows. Let's do 9 p.m. Eastern. We will go over the affiliate compensation side. All right?
We have another commitment at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, so we're going to have to do that. We'll have to schedule another time. We'll post it on Facebook.
Well, we'll schedule the webinar. You know what? Yeah, we'll schedule the Hangout, and we will announce the time on the Facebook page just like before, and we will let you know.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Everybody have a great night. We will see you in INFINii tomorrow. We will see you at the Hangout and all those wonderful things. And I hope now everybody is going in with the right mindset. We do not. You know what? This final disclaimer. We do not want you to go in there with no idea of what you're buying and just say, let me buy Surge because it sounds good, or let me buy Excel because, or whatever. Only buy what fits in your game plan, that fits in your structure for life. Again, if you don't have $400 to spend, here's the complete opposite of what you would hear on a company webinar before. Don't spend $400 if you don't have it. Go in at $49, start building your business, and hopefully you will be at $400 level pretty quickly because you will see how powerful it is and you will grow with it. And we don't have to pressure you to buy this stuff right now because we know how strong our system is and we know that you're going to upgrade to that down the road. Okay, that's just how it's going to play out in the behavior that we are driving. So only do what fits your game plan. Only do what fits your current financial status. And a part of me gets excited when I see people saying, I just sold my kids' textbooks so I could get into this. That's what my commitment is. A part of me is like, man, you're really committed. And part of me is like, that's really horrifying as well. And it worries me to see something like that happen. So get into what's comfortable for you, and then work uncomfortably hard. Okay, you have to compensate with extra hard work in that case, and that's totally fine. I grew up, I did not have a lot of the benefits that other people have, and you just have to work extra hard sometimes. So that's what you do. I'll give you an example of a lack of benefits. I had monkeys in my school stealing my lunch boxes. Look at Kevin's reaction. This is what
I knew you were going to go to the monkey. Can't do that to me.
He loves it. He has a hard time even believing it, but it's awesome. We'll go with that story some other time. But we don't need fake mindset training anymore. You don't need to be motivated with the right music and the right words that mean nothing, because now you have an actual system and an actual product and an actual business model that works for you. And you can stop jazzing yourself up with this emotional hype every 10 minutes to keep yourself sustained in a company for 2 years and make nothing. You don't have to do that anymore. Okay, those days are gone. We're going to build this like a real business model, build a real business, and we will see you tomorrow at the affiliate side, and it'll be awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
Not everybody.